Chapter 376. Abyss Dragon was also a soul body, so was afraid of the soul-stabilizing tree. Of course, Abyss Dragon also had a body, which was Yellow Spring. However, having a body did not mean it was unafraid. Few with a soul were not afraid of the soul-stabilizing tree. Jiang Changkong put away the soul-stabilizing tree and the young man's spatial equipment, then gave the corpse to Abyss Dragon. He was not in a hurry to leave, and he organized the memories he had just found. There were not many fragments, but they were related to the Star Path realm. There are also the Immortal Palace's arrangements here, as well as a ruin. The Immortal Palace was already furious and sent many Star Path martial artists over to guard the stronghold. There was also a small team searching for them everywhere. There was no lack of peak early-stage Star Path and mid-stage Star Path. As for the late-stage Star Path, they were guarding the Research Palace and would not come out easily. This young man's strength was considered a powerhouse in the early-stage Star Path, and he was still some distance from the limit. The Star Path realm carried the Star Path Great Tao. The early-stage Star Path could at most carry 10% of the Great Tao, and 10% was the limit. The mid-stage Star Path could carry 40%, and that was the limit. The late-stage Star Path could carry 70%, and that was the limit. The peak Star Path could carry 100% of the Great Tao, and one could break through to the Star Sage realm. This young man was still a bit away from the limit. Jiang Changkong had some understanding of his and Abyss Dragon's strength. The current Abyss Dragon could only carry half of the Great Tao, and it was still far from the limit. Jiang Changkong pointed his finger and transmitted the information to the Netherworld Dragon. Abyss Dragon quickly digested the information and understood its current realm. So, I am just a weakling in the Star Path? Jiang Changkong sighed softly. You finally have some idea. Abyss Dragon. It did not have any inheritance, and it relied on treasures to comprehend the corpse path. So how would it know how the Star Path realm was divided? Brother Kong, did you think I was nothing from the beginning? Abyss Dragon looked at him seriously. Jiang Changkong was silent for a moment, then said, You can't say that. I just didn't expect you to have no idea at all. How did you cultivate before? Have you never come into contact with martial arts manuals and don't know how to divide? I know a little, but the Void Realm can be easily shattered by Star Path. The ones I've seen before were only at the early stage of Star Path. The Abyss Dragon sighed and said, I thought I was invincible after stepping into the Star Path. I should really thank you for not knowing how to control yourself. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have dared to reveal the treasure to me. Work hard in your cultivation. Look, it hasn't been long, and you already have a second Star Path corpse. Jiang Changkong smiled and said, In the future, when we become near gods, we will be able to dominate the entire universe. All right, the Abyss Dragon looked excited. Then we'll conquer the Void Realm after we reach the peak of Star Path. Jiang Changkong, what kind of grudge do you have against the Void Realm? You want to flatten the Void Realm for no reason? How are we humans going to develop in the future? The resources on Earth were not enough for human development. High-level warriors had to come to the Void Realm to develop themselves. If the Void Realm was gone, the group of star embryo martial artists would have no choice but to go on an expedition to the stars. Pack up. Let's go. Jiang Changkong led him away. It was difficult to communicate with this stupid dragon. During this period of time, he would slowly teach it so that it wouldn't be killed one day. After exiting the 6-story maze, Jiang Changkong felt a little heartache. There's only a little bit of Tao aura left. It's obviously not enough to deal with the next Star Path martial artist. Jiang Changkong sighed. Tao aura? The Abyss Dragon blinked, a little confused. It's this Tao aura. I call it Tao aura, and the Tao imprint, I call it Tao pattern. Jiang Changkong explained. It's appropriate. We'll call it that from now on. The Abyss Dragon agreed. Hurry up and pack up and leave. Jiang Changkong did not say anything else and urged. Liang Xiaoshuani and the other two had already packed up their spatial equipment and equipment. Jiang Changyue has left. Then let's go. 4 people and 1 dragon left the Immortal Palace stronghold. They found a deserted place and stopped. The Abyss Dragon went into seclusion while they dealt with the star crystals. The harvest this time was also very big, more than 200 million. Including the previous ones, he still needed tens of millions to perfect the 2 martial arts. This time, he planned to perfect the soul reigning art. He could only wait for the remaining 4 martial arts. We met another star path martial artist. Chankong, what do you plan to do next? Liang Xiaoshuani asked. It was obviously not possible to continue killing like this. 2 star path martial artists had fallen in a row. No matter how stupid the Immortal Palace was, they would send stronger ones or retreat. Jiang Chankong frowned. I don't plan to attack the Immortal Palace for now. If we continue like this, we'll be walking into a trap. Feng Qixing remained silent. Feng Xiaoye rolled her eyes and said, We can go to Star City. Star City? What's that place? Jiang Chankong said with interest. Cough, cough. Feng Qixing coughed violently and glared at Feng Xiaoye. Feng Xiaoye shrunk her head and kept quiet. Jiang Chankong raised his hand. My soul-searching art is getting a little impatient. Feng Qixing's face twitched. He could only explain, Star City is a market in the depths of the Void Realm. Various forces trade and communicate there. People from the Immortal Palace will also go there. However, they're not very popular and rarely go. Those bastards from the Immortal Palace are not popular anywhere, Jiang Chankong said indifferently. Outsiders are not welcome, Feng Qixing said softly. Jiang Chankong said indifferently. It's fine as long as you're popular. Tell me about the specific situation in Star City. The rulers of Star City are a group of Star Demon. They're the most Star Demon there, and there are mid-stage Star Path martial artists overseeing it. Martial arts were prohibited in the Star City, and one could use star crystals to trade or barter. Some of the things found in the ruins can be exchanged for what you need in Star City if you don't need them. Feng Qixing explained, including the specific location of Star City. The Star Remnant citizens often went to Star City to exchange for things. Star City usually only had the Star Remnant citizens and the Star Demon. It was not easy for people from the Immortal Palace to enter. Neither side would leak information. So you're saying that you have a good relationship with the Star Demon? Jiang Chankong said indifferently. No, we're just keeping the secret together. We don't want to be exposed, and neither does the Star Demon. Feng Qixing explained. The Star Demon has its own route and its own secrets. Jiang Chankong nodded. They were all creatures that fell from the starry sky and were born and raised in the void. Even if the 2 sides did not know the details of these Star Remnant citizens and the starry sky, they definitely had a good understanding of each other. If the Star Demon could betray the secrets of the Star Remnant citizens, then the Star Remnant citizens could betray them. Both sides had a tacit agreement to keep the secret for a long time. In that case, Star City is of no help to me. I have nothing to exchange, Jiang Chankong said indifferently. I'm only interested in killing the Star Demon. I'll go kill the Star Demon later. Are you really planning to provoke everything in the depths of the void? Feng Qixing sighed. You've provoked the Immortal Palace, and now you're going to provoke the Star Demon. Jiang Chankong's expression was calm. Resources are fought for. If the Star Demon can occupy them, I can take them. Seeing that there were only 4 martial arts left before he could step into the Star Path, Jiang Chankong naturally had to think of ways to get his essence, qi, and spirit. He couldn't think about the Immortal Palace for now, so he could only find the Star Demon to ask for some star crystals. He had to step into the Star Path as soon as possible. When the Soul Martial Path was close to godhood, he would tell him how to obtain the golden substance. Chapter 377. Jiang Chankong, Star Summit, High-Tier High-Grade Martial Art, 3-foot Golden Body, Perfect 171.5/171.5, Tai Chi Yin Yang Art, Consummate 171, 5-171, 5 million Domineering Blade, Perfect 1-171, 5 million Holy Sun Art, Perfected 1/171, 5 million God Governing Art, Perfected 171, 5/171, 5 million Bright Moon Art, Completed 171, 5/171, 5 White Cloud 9-Tier Sutra, Completed 1/171, 5 million high-grade, middle-grade array Tao, combat body star formation, incomplete perfect 1 to 171, 5 million essence, energy, and spirit, 146628885. For with the help of the Abyss Dragon's treasure, Jiang Chongkong perfected another cultivation method. If he met the young man again, he should be able to beat him. The Abyss Dragon asked anxiously, "Brother Kong, where are we going?" It couldn't wait any longer since its strength had improved once again. "Kill the Star Demon." "Hasn't the Star Demon bullied you before?" Jiang Chongkong asked. With treasures, the Abyss Dragon was the only one who could keep up with him in terms of leveling up. Of course, by the time he gathered enough essence, chi, and spirit, he would definitely not be able to keep up. Once he stepped into the Star Tao, his strength would undergo a tremendous change. At that time, even if he was not invincible in the Void Realm, he would still be able to obtain a lot of resources. "I've killed all the ones I could find. The rest are the ones I can't find." The Underworld Dragon shook his head and said, "Only those from the Celestial Palace have not been killed." "Right, there are a few others, but I don't know who they are." Feng Qixing's expression changed slightly. Many people had bullied the Underworld Dragon before. Many of the remnant space natives had bullied it. Once this fellow saw it, Jiang Chongkong would definitely be happy to give him more star crystals. Jiang Chongkong noticed Feng Qixing's expression, but he didn't care. "Then let's just follow a line and kill our way over." "Which line?" "It's in the southeast." I searched his soul and learned that the people of the Immortal Palace found a relic. "Let's go there directly," Jiang Chongkong said as he recalled the scene in his mind. In that historical remnant, Immortal Palace had sent several Star Path martial artists, among which there were peak initial stage Star Path. Now that he was facing a peak early stage Star Tao expert, Jiang Chongkong was confident that he could retreat, but he wasn't confident that he could win. The Tao rhythm of the sixth floor palace was about to run out, and it couldn't trap Star Path martial artists anymore. It would be very difficult to kill Star Path martial artists. "Let's just go find the ruins." Killing the Star Demon is just a waste of time. The Abyss Dragon could not understand. If it was a remnant, it was very likely that there would be corpses of peak cultivators, allowing it to improve quickly. The ruins haven't opened yet. There's no point in going too early. We should kill more Star Demon. Every bit of strength we can gain is a bit of strength. Once Jiang Chongkong finished speaking, the Abyss Dragon did not say anything else. However, after experiencing the rapid growth brought by the corpses of Star Path martial artists, it started to look down on Star Realm martial artists. Jiang Chongkong didn't think much of it either. Normally, a Star Demon could obtain a few million points of essence, energy, and spirit. Only the Star Demon, who had comprehended the great Tao at the peak of the Star Realm, had more than 10 million in savings. For example, a research settlement could earn 200 million or close to 200 million a time. That was a huge income, but he had no choice. The current situation didn't allow him to be picky. The 4 humans and 1 dragon went straight for the Star Realm Star Demon, completely ignoring the astral ones. When Yellow Springs passed through, there was no longer any vitality left. The Star Demon completely merged into the Yellow Springs. Jiang Chongkong followed behind to pick up the star crystals. He also let him keep the star stones. Now that he had the equipment, the star stones could also be processed. Feng Qixing and Feng Xiaoye merged with heaven and earth and did not show themselves. They were members of the Void Realm, after all. If they were seen by other Star Demon, it would cause a lot of trouble for the Wind lineage. Although the Star Remnants would also kill the Star Demon, they would not go on such a wanton killing spree. That was equivalent to starting a war. The Abyss Dragon killed extremely quickly. Jiang Chongkong swept with his soul power and gathered all the star stones and star crystals. The spatial equipment was also put away. Finally, Jiang Chongkong took out the equipment and processed the star crystals and star stones as he hurried along. Half a day later, they had already pushed for tens of thousands of miles and gained a lot of star crystals and star stones. Jiang Chongkong calculated. Including the previous ones, he had gathered the required amount for a martial art to perfection. He was not in a hurry to improve and continued to push forward. Liang Xiaoshuani paused for a moment and took out a blue bead. She said calmly, "My master contacted me." "Oh, what did he want you to do?" Jiang Changkong asked. "He wants you to continue destroying the Celestial Palace's stronghold," Liang Xiaoshuani said. "Then tell him that I'm not interested in listening to him," Jiang Changkong said coldly. Liang Xiaoshuani said calmly, "My master promised to get you the power vein, the research materials of the moon and sun star powers, and the early stage star saint. They will be destroyed in the future, not now." Jiang Changkong refused decisively. He would naturally have the power vein if he upgraded himself. He did not lack it. He had plenty of the moon star formation in his mind. Although he needed the sun star formation, he would not take too big of a risk. If it were not for the fact that upgrading was too slow and required too much essence, qi, and spirit, he would have upgraded himself. Liang Xiaoshuani was silent for a moment. Then, she said, "I rejected master." Jiang Changkong responded softly and did not say anything else. In the blink of an eye, 10 days later, the 4 humans and 1 dragon arrived at the depths of the Void Realm. Jiang Changkong stopped. He had gathered enough essence, qi, and spirit for 2 martial arts. He was close to the ruin. "Brother Dragon, I'll be in seclusion for a few hours. Don't move forward. Be careful and hide to avoid being discovered." "All right." The Abyss Dragon nodded and led him into the distance. Apart from Jiang Changkong, it did not want anyone else to know about the treasure. Jiang Changkong sat cross-legged by himself and let the golden light shine on him. The Tao patterns in his body became active. Perfected Holy Sun Art, Tyrant Blade. 2 martial arts were perfected, and the power in his body increased again. The stars were densely covered with star array patterns. His Holy Sun Tao pattern and Tyrant Blade Tao pattern had also become stronger. With his current strength, as long as he hid well, he should be able to obtain great benefits in the ruin. Jiang Changkong, Star Pinnacle High Tier, Superior Martial Art. 3-foot golden body, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 Taiji Yin Yang Art, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 Tyrant Blade, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 Holy Sun Art, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 God Governing Art, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 Bright Moon Art, perfected 171. 5,000,000/171. 5,000,000 White Cloud, 9-tier Sutra, perfected 1/171. 5,000,000 High-tier Medial Grade Array, Tao. Battle Physique, Star Formation, incomplete perfected 1 for 171. 5,000,000 Essence, Spirit, and Energy, 1332885. For inch perfected 1 martial art in 10 days with some leftover. The depths of the Void Realm is really a good place. Jiang Changkong muttered to himself. When the historical remains came out, or if there was still a period of time before the historical remains opened, he would kill the star demons and step into the star Tao. After stabilizing his cultivation, Jiang Changkong kept the treasure and returned it to the Abyss Dragon. Feng Xiaoye and Feng Qixing sat on the spot with a bitter expression. "Let's go. Don't go to the ruin." "What's wrong?" Jiang Changkong frowned. The two pointed at Liang Xiaoshuani. Liang Xiaoshuani took out the azure pearl. "My master won't let us go. Otherwise, she will tell the immortal palace where we are." "She knows where we are? You said that?" Jiang Changkong's expression turned cold. Liang Xiaoshuani shook her head. "Master can locate this pearl. Then let her say it. We can also tell the immortal palace that she's a traitor." Jiang Changkong sneered. "Changkong, don't be impulsive. Without the immortal palace, you'll lose a lot of benefits." Liang Xiaoshuani hurriedly advised, "Master did use you, but didn't you also gain a lot?" Jiang Changkong pondered and said, "All right, we'll go our separate ways here. The 3 of you leave with this pearl. I'll go to the ruin with Brother Dragon. Changkong, stop talking. I'll return your freedom. Don't make me do it." Jiang Changkong waved his hand and merged with heaven and earth with them. When he appeared again, he was already tens of thousands of miles away. He left the three of them behind and returned to where he was. The Abyss Dragon was still waiting for him. "You've finally abandoned these ants," the Abyss Dragon said with a hint of joy. "I wanted to stop bringing them with me for a long time. They're still useful. They can help me deal with the star crystals." After saying that, Jiang Changkong looked ahead and said, "Let's go. The two of us will go see what's in the ruin. You still won't let me go." Chapter 378. Abandoning Liangxiu Xuanyi also made it impossible for Lin Suyun to know his location. If he had known about this, he would have abandoned Liangxiu Xuanyi a long time ago. On the other hand, he was very curious about the ruins. What did they not want him to know? The man and the dragon were ready to go. The Nether Dragon said in a low voice, "Why don't you kill them? She will spread the news about us." "Don't worry. Part of my soul power is with them," Jiang Changkong said with a wave of his hand. He was getting more and more proficient in using soul secret techniques. He also arranged for Jiang Changyue to stay with Liangxiu Xuanyi. She could monitor them from afar and use soul-killing sound to kill people from thousands of miles away. If he kept them alive, he could use his soul power to pry into the secrets of those people. The Nether Dragon said no more and went to the ruins with him. For cultivators sat cross-legged on a mountain peak, surrounded by rich Taoist rhymes. The man and the dragon looked at them from afar with serious expressions. For Star Path cultivators, one of them was at the peak of the early stage of the Star Path. "Is it not done yet?" One of the cultivators opened his eyes and frowned. "Suyun is a little weak. Let's wait a little longer." "Let's wait patiently." Suyun is the one who is anxious. This concerns her. The three cultivators said with a smile. The man and the dragon carefully circled around the mountain peak and found a woman drawing a star formation with her Taoist rhymes. While drawing, the woman held a blue pearl in her hand and said, "You guys left?" She could sense that Liangxiu Xuanyi and the others had gone far away. This made her heave a sigh of relief. This matter had to be foolproof. No one was allowed to ruin it. The people from the Immortal Palace were helping her get the treasure. She didn't want to see Jiang Changkong and Netherworld Dragon, these two bastards. She wanted to let Jiang Changkong continue to destroy the Immortal Palace's stronghold to attract attention and not cause trouble. However, Jiang Changkong did not listen to her at all. Now that the pearl had left, it seemed that Jiang Changkong could not refuse to study the information. On the other side, Liangxiu Xuanyi looked at the blue pearl and fell silent. Jiang Changkong must have gone over. Should I tell the truth? If he didn't say anything, he didn't know what would happen. However, if he did, his master would definitely deal with Jiang Changkong first before entering the relic. "Xuanyi, what's wrong with you? Aren't you going to reply?" Lin Suyun's voice was cold. Liangxiu Xuanyi was startled awake. She quickly replied, "Master, we have left. Jiang Changkong knows that going to the Immortal Palace's stronghold now is very dangerous, so he changed to Star City." "All right, keep Jiang Changkong in check. Don't let him set his eyes on the relic." Satisfied, Lin Siyun ended the call and continued to set up the formation. Jiang Changkong, who was hidden in the void, had a faint smile on his face. He had heard everything. Was Liangxiu Xuanyi suspicious of her master? The previous conversation had ultimately caused Liangxiu Xuanyi to feel a trace of suspicion. If her grandfather was really killed by Lin Suyun, she would likely hate him to death. If Lin Suyun was so capable, why didn't she save her grandfather? The human and dragon continued to hide, while Lin Suyun continued to draw the array. The star array was huge, nearly covering the entire mountain peak. Furthermore, Dao runes were left behind on every path. Lin Siyun's strength should have just broken through to the star path not long ago, about the same as the Abyss Dragon. Setting up this array was somewhat strenuous. However, she was the only water-attributed cultivator in the group. Every time she drew a few paths, she had to consume a bottle of medicine to recover her Dao runes. "Brother Kong, can you tell the grade of this woman's array?" The Abyss Dragon asked via voice projection. Jiang Changkong shook his head. "I'm not sure yet. When she's almost done, I should be able to tell from the might of this star array." Xiao Chun now had the Lunar Battle Body star array, the soul inheritance, and all sorts of star path array formations. Hence, he had a good understanding of peak array formations. When the array was almost done, he would be able to judge based on its might. A blue light blossomed in the sky, and a dense Tao rune spread out. It was extremely gentle, not damaging a single blade of grass or tree. Buzz! The sky in the distance suddenly fluctuated, and 4 figures appeared. It's here. Oh, someone is setting up the array. A blue light flickered, and a woman's expression changed as she charged towards the mountain peak. Stop in the land of the immortal palace. A cold snort sounded. For cultivators were sitting cross-legged, stood up, and blocked the woman's path. People of the immortal palace, leave this place. Dense golden lights spread out, and the metal Tao runes suppressed the void. Lightning flashed, and thunder fell from the sky. 2 figures rode on the thunder and looked at the 4 people indifferently. Immortal Palace, get out of here. So it's you guys. The Immortal Palace cultivators had cold expressions and eyes. We, the Immortal Palace, discovered this place first. If you want to fight, you can try. Let's try. Lightning flashed, and countless lightning snakes covered the void, turning the area within 100 miles into a sea of lightning. The 2 thunder-attributed star path cultivators were very powerful. Their Tao might spread out, and their tyrannical strength was no weaker than the peak of the early-stage star path. The 4 Immortal Palace cultivators did not show any weakness. Their Tao runes spread out, and golden light, the power of Yin, and the power of Yang filled the sky. Fight! It's best if you fight to the death, the Abyss Dragon said excitedly in the distance. If this group of people fought to the death, he and Jiang Changkong could take advantage of it. We can't fight. The difference in strength between the 2 sides is not that big. Jiang Changkong shook his head. As for Lin Siyun, although she was also a star path cultivator, it was the weakest one. With her, it would not be a problem for them to gain the upper hand, but it would be difficult to suppress them. As expected, the blue-haired woman said, "You 4, if we fight, no one will benefit. We still don't know what is in this relic. What do you want?" The power of the sun star was dense, and the aura of the early-stage star path cultivators relaxed a little. How about we decide the winner after we see the thing? The blue water rippled, and the woman said indifferently, "As for inviting people, there is no need. There are many star paths in the Immortal Palace, and we have many friends." The 4 cultivators looked at each other and nodded slightly. "Okay, we will decide the winner after we enter the relic. In that case, I will help your companions set up the array." The woman chuckled and stepped into the mountain, and the 3 cultivators followed closely behind her. Lin Siyun had a cold look in her eyes, but she wore a smile on her face. "It is good to have your help. It is too difficult for me to set up this array alone. My name is Shui Qin. The Immortal Palace really has a deep foundation. There is actually someone who knows about the heavenly water array." The woman smiled slightly, sketching the route of the star array. "I'm not as good as you," Lin Siyun said indifferently. The 2 of them joined hands and set up the array together. Lines of the star array crisscrossed. The aura of the Great Path became denser and denser, and the Taoist rhymes became stronger. The 2 of them joined hands and set up the array faster. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The heavenly water array was set up, and the blue starlight rushed into the void. Blue ripples appeared in the void, and a huge Taoist might swept out, covering a radius of hundreds of miles. A blue vortex appeared in the center. "Let's go," Lin Siyun shouted, and the 4 cultivators from the Immortal Palace came and entered the blue vortex with her. Shui Qin followed closely behind with the 3 star path cultivators. After all of them entered, Jiang Changkong and the Netherworld Dragon sneakily followed them. Chapter 379. The blue seawater was boundless, and a wave of pressure pressed down. Jiang Changkong's Tao rippled, and the pressure immediately dissipated. The seawater contained some Tao ripples. In front of them was a boundless seawater, and many fish were swimming in it. Jiang Changkong also saw some turtles and lobsters. On Earth, these were all species that could only survive by breeding. "This is an ocean," the dark dragon said in surprise. "I don't know where they went. Let's go forward first," Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. He circulated his star power and immediately frowned. "There are water Tao ripples everywhere, and we can't merge with the world. Be careful." The dark dragon nodded solemnly. The two water elemental star Daos had an incomparable advantage here. The human and dragon quickly flew forward, and in the blink of an eye, they were already 10,000 miles away. His soul power scanned the seabed. There was mud, and there were many aquatic plants and fish. The strange thing was that these fish all had star power. Could they be considered monsters? His soul power didn't sense any traces of those people. Walala. A few miles away, the seawater rippled violently, and a huge creature swam in the sea. A dense Tao ripple came from that thing, and all the living creatures in the sea fled wherever its Tao power passed. Roar! A roar was heard, and the seawater within 10,000 miles rippled. Countless fish and prawns surged towards that huge creature. It was a F** king whale. Jiang Changkong's expression changed. A powerful suction force came, and he quickly retreated with the dark dragon. This was a star Tao level whale. Although it wasn't as powerful as the dark dragon, it wasn't much weaker. The human and dragon didn't waste time with this thing, and the human and dragon quickly left. Rumble. A shocking sound came from afar. Lightning flashed, and lightning snakes swam in the water. Countless fish and prawns died. Under the Tao power, the seawater split apart. Golden sword auras shot out in all directions. Roar! The roar sounded again. 3 huge creatures stirred the seawater and spewed out water pillars. The powerful star power rushed towards the 4 of them with endless Tao power. Shui Qin entered the sea and dodged the whale's attack. "This place is a bit scary," the dark dragon mumbled. Another 3 whales, and all of them were star Tao level. Jiang Changkong's expression darkened. "Let's just follow behind them. Don't be rash." The dark dragon quickly nodded. "Understand. When I reach the peak of the star path, I'll sweep through the void realm." Jiang Changkong. "Can you not bring this up? Just how much of a grudge do you have against the void realm?" Ignoring the abyss dragon, Jiang Changkong continued to watch the battle. Although the 3 whales were powerful, the 4 cosmic remnants were even more powerful. The lightning condensed into a spear, destroying everything in its path. The golden sword projection parted the seawater and struck the whale's body. Roar! The whale roared. The seawater gathered and turned into a harpoon that emitted boundless Tao rhymes. Boom! A terrifying aftershock spread out, and Jiang Changkong and the abyss dragon quickly retreated to avoid being affected. The seawater surged, blue blood dripped, and the 3 whales tumbled away. Shui Qin's expression turned grave as she used the water grate, Tao, to stabilize the surrounding seawater. "The 3 of you be careful. These beasts actually know martial techniques." "It's fine. They're just 3 beasts. They don't understand human nature. Even if they know martial techniques, there's nothing to worry about." The lightning dancer, who was at the peak of the early stage of the star path, shouted coldly, and a spear surrounded by lightning appeared in his hand. Heaven's wrath lightning execution. The lightning destroyed everything, and the might of the Tao suppressed everything. The spear fell, mobilizing the lightning great Tao. Starfall. Golden light soared into the sky, and a golden sword tore through everything. It carried the metal great Tao and was incomparably sharp. The other lightning dancer and Shui Qin attacked at the same time. Roar! The Tao might of the 3 whales became denser, and they combined into a huge trident. Boom! Blood splattered, and the trident collapsed. However, there was still a ray of light that penetrated the body of the metal meridian martial artist. The lightning spear pierced through the body of a whale, and a monstrous power of lightning poured into its body, destroying its vitality. The other lightning warrior only tore through the whale's defense and sliced off a large piece of flesh. Shui Qin's figure was like water. She dispersed the force and gathered it to tear apart the defense of the other whale. Sea God Trident. Could this be the remnant of a sea race? Shui Qin's eyes flickered with excitement. Back then, the sea race had a few near-true gods. In the distant past, there was even a true immortal-level sea god. The immortal god era has already passed. The remnant of the true gods is enough for us to digest for a long time. The three martial artists had excited expressions. These three beasts actually know the sea race's secret arts. There must be an inheritance of the sea race here. Kill. The two lightning warriors had excited expressions. With a roar, they charged at the three whales again. Shui Qin and the metal meridian martial artist quickly surrounded the three whales. The battle began. The power of lightning streaked across, continuously piercing through the bodies of the whales. Shui Qin controlled the water, and the damage she could do to the whales was minimal. However, she could help block the whales' attacks. The resistance between cultivators of the same attribute was too great. If their strengths were about the same, without any special means, no one would be able to kill the other. Fortunately, the lightning warriors and metal meridian martial artists had great destructive power. The metal meridian martial artist unleashed his full power and tore the bodies of the whales apart. The three-star path martial artists were all peak martial artists. In addition, one of them was at the peak initial stage of the star path. They were practically suppressing the three whales. As they were continuously injured, the three whales roared, and the surrounding seawater became turbulent. The dense might of the Tao of water actually gathered together and suppressed the opponents. Shui Qin hurried to use her star power, and a blue zither appeared in her hand, which was shining with azure light. The zither vibrated, and Tao patterns appeared. The star power that was infused with Tao rhymes swept in all directions. Wherever the zither music passed, the pressure of the Tao was weakened. However, with her strength, she could only weaken it by a third. Heavenly lightning descend. The two lightning warriors combined their strength and Tao rhyme, forcefully breaking the Tao of water. Lightning fell from the sky, killing the three whales. The metal meridian martial artist saw the opportunity. His golden light pierced through everything, and he attacked the whale that was the most heavily injured. Rumble. Amidst the endless lightning, the golden sword aura directly split a whale into two. Endless sword aura sprinkled down, and together with the lightning, it killed the whale's body. As one whale died, the other two growled, turned around, and fled into the depths. Let's go. Shui Qin took the lead and chased into the distance. The three martial artists collected the whale's body and chased after her. Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon quickly followed. They used their soul power to observe the surroundings, and they didn't see the immortal palace martial artists. What a pity that they took the body. The Abyss Dragon was a bit regretful. It wanted to take advantage of the situation. Don't worry about this. I'm more curious about what the sea race is, Jiang Changkong said. The human and the dragon followed in secret, but they didn't dare to get too close. The Tao rhyme in the surrounding seawater also became denser. Jiang Changkong's heart sank. The density of the Tao rhyme was enough to threaten an early-stage star path cultivator who had just broken through. He suddenly felt a bit worried. There might be whales at the peak early-stage star path, or even stronger. The Abyss Dragon didn't say a word. Its inheritance was incomplete, so it naturally didn't know about the sea race. Suddenly, whale cries came from all directions. Jiang Changkong's expression changed, and he quickly pulled the Abyss Dragon back. The two injured whales began to call for companions. Jiang Changkong prayed in his heart that they could hold on. Chapter 380. The seawater stirred even more violently, and the Tao might in the surroundings intensified. Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon shrank their bodies and sank into the seawater. Can you turn the seabed into underworld soil so that we can travel underground? Jiang Changkong asked. The Abyss Dragon shook its head. No, the water great Tao here is too powerful. It is everywhere. I need half an hour to transform a little. Forget it. Let's watch first. These remnant beings should have some special ability. If not, we can take the opportunity to go around them. Jiang Changkong suggested. The underworld soil method would not work. They could only rely on their own methods, or take the opportunity to go around. The abyss dragon nodded and retreated with him. Soon, a group of huge whales surrounded them. The three cultivators had grave expressions. Shui Qin plucked the strings, and a strange sound rang out. Wherever the sound spread out, the whales stopped and slowly retreated. Ding-dong! The strange sound turned crisp, and a blue light spread out, looking incredibly gentle. In the distance, Jiang Chongkong and the Abyss Dragon were also affected. When they touched this blue light, they felt comfortable as if they were soaking in a hot spring. The injuries of the two whales that were injured earlier also quickly recovered because of this blue light. Roar! The whales cried out and turned to leave. The surroundings became empty again. Shui Qin put away her zither and heaved a long sigh. Her forehead was covered in sweat at some point. Your sea race's heavenly melody is getting better and better. The three martial artists praised aloud. I barely managed to execute it. This heavenly melody needs to be played with a great Tao to be effective. My water great Tao has only scratched the surface. Shui Qin sighed softly and said, "Let's go quickly." The four advanced again. This time, no whales made things difficult for them. Jiang Chongkong and the Abyss Dragon quickly followed. These remnant beings really had many tricks up their sleeves. Using their own Tao patterns to play, the heavenly melody could be considered the sound of a great Tao. After a quarter of an hour, the four of them stopped. The surroundings were completely empty and pitch black. The metal vein cultivator looked around and said, "Until now, we have not seen anyone from the ethereal immortal palace. Could they have been eaten by those beasts?" Shui Qin closed her eyes, and a blue light spread out from her body. Not too long later, he opened his eyes and saw 5 figures in the distant darkness. "None of you were eaten, so how could anything happen to us?" Lin Suyun sneered. "You really have some tricks up your sleeve. Even a group of star Tao level whales can't stop you. Aren't you all here as well?" Shui Qin laughed coldly. Her might of the way emanated. "Since we're all here, it's your turn. Are you sure that I can open the ruins?" Lin Suyun's expression darkened. To be able to find this place, one must either be proficient in the sea race's secret techniques or have the sea race's keepsake. Shui Qin said coldly, "With your strength, it's not enough to use the secret method. You must have a token with you." "Please," the Thunderbolt martial artist said. Lin Suyun was silent for a moment. A blue pearl appeared in her hand, emitting misty water vapor. Buzz! As soon as the bead appeared, a strange wave spread out. Rumble! The seawater rippled, and the bottom trembled. A huge object slowly rose from below. Silt rolled up, and the seawater became muddy. It was chaos ahead. Roar! Low roars came from all directions, resounding throughout the entire sea. He just roared and didn't come over. Buzz! Beams of light bloomed. Thousands of blue lights shone through the turbidity, and the silt fell. Majestic way might radiated in all directions. The horrifying pressure made the 9-starry Tao cultivators sink at the same time. The blue light dissipated, but the way might remained. A huge blue barrier appeared in front of them. The Crystal Palace was filled with corals. It was colorful and beautiful. The sea race's royal palace. Shui Qin looked at the Crystal Palace with a tinge of excitement. "Do you want to decide the victor here, or do you want to go in together?" Lin Suyun's eyes flickered with killing intent. "Do you think you can get through the sea race's trap?" Shui Qin had a look of disdain. "Without me, even if you have the sea race's keepsake, you won't be able to bring anything out." Lin Suyun held the blue pearl. "All right, we'll cooperate for now. You go first." Shui Qin looked at the three beside her and nodded. She took the lead and entered the blue barrier. They stepped into the blue barrier and landed on the jade-like stone slabs on the ground. The 3 martial artists followed behind. Only then did Lin Suyun enter with her people. She came to the fore and asked, "How do we go now?" Shui Qin frowned. Her fingertip glowed with a blue light. She opened her mouth but did not make a sound. Lin Suyun and the others found it strange but did not stop her. As Shui Qin silently chanted, her fingertip glowed brightly and flew out like a spirit snake. The blue light danced on the ground and moved forward. Follow closely. One wrong step, and your life has nothing to do with me. After Shui Qin finished speaking, she moved forward along the blue light. The three behind her were careful, not daring to make any mistakes. Lin Siyun and the others followed closely without a wrong step. The nine soon arrived at the coral forest. The blue light continued moving forward. Buzz! In the coral forest, a black shadow flashed. What is that? Lin Siyun's expression changed slightly. The other martial artists were also very cautious. They did not see what that black shadow was. Don't make a mistake. One wrong step and you'll know what it is. Shui Qin sneered. She cannot be bothered to explain. Lin Siyun and the others frowned. The martial artist with lunar star power said coldly, "The token is in our hands. You better explain. Otherwise, even if you can enter, you will not be able to enter the palace." Shui Qin paused and said coldly, "Since you want to know, I will tell you. That is the guardian divine beast of the sea clan. It is a poisonous sea snake. Once bitten by a sea snake, there is no antidote." The five were shocked and became even more careful. Swoosh! In the coral forest, a green light flashed. They still did not see it clearly. Shui Qin did not explain, and the others did not ask anymore. Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon followed from afar. They remembered their route clearly. Jiang Changkong said, "Be careful. These survivors will definitely not let the people from the Immortal Palace enter. They will find a way to kill them and get the token." The Abyss Dragon nodded. I felt the aura of the corpse. The green light and black shadow were dead. The group continued forward. Soon, Shui Qin suddenly pulled the other three and sped up into the coral forest. "Don't move." Lin Xian stopped and said coldly, "Shui Qin, if you want to play tricks, then we will not move. Without the token, it is useless for you to go." This place was full of danger. If they were not careful, they would be killed. If they chased after them, it might be a trap. It was better to wait here. We all remember the route. I will give you 3 seconds. If you do not come out, we will leave. The 4 martial artists said at the same time. They looked calm and did not panic at all. There was no response from the coral forest. "Let's go." Lin Siyun snorted and turned to leave. Boom! As soon as she took a step, the ground shook and the surrounding coral moved. A green light pounced at her. The way to come in is different from the way to go out. Shui Qin's voice came from the coral forest. Swoosh! A golden light flashed, and the green figure was sliced in half. A putrid stench spread out from it. Not good. It is poisonous. Chapter 381. The green light that was sliced apart was a huge frog, but it was humanoid. A frogman. The frogman was cut off, and the air was filled with a foul stench. Lin Siyun, who was closest to it, smelled it immediately. Her star power and Taoist connotation surged out at the same time to isolate the poisonous gas. The next moment, the poisonous gas attached to her star power, corroding her star power and Taoist connotation. It's corpse poison. Lin Siyun's face glowed blue. The poison was terrifying. Swish! The air fluctuated, and a lot of blue lights rushed out from the coral forest. The 3 martial artists' faces changed. They immediately used their star power to sweep the frogman away. Croak! The frogman let out a cry, and a large amount of poisonous gas swept out. This damned thing. Kill it. We can't kill it, nor can we push it out. The 4 martial artists from the Celestial Palace looked gloomy. Their star power was also being corroded. "Let's see if your token works," one of the martial artists said. Lin Xian took out the blue bead and held it in her hand. The blue light on her face was immediately absorbed by the bead. The poisonous gas on her star power also entered the bead. "It's useful. Everyone, come to my side," Lin Siyun said hurriedly. The 4 martial artists from the Celestial Palace stepped forward. Buzz! Killing intent rose in the coral forest once more. Azure water, arrows containing poisonous gas, covered the sky and covered the earth as they shot over. Primitive people from the Celestial Palace, this place has changed since you took one wrong step. Shui Qin's voice came from the coral forest again. Damn it! Lin Xian snorted and raised the blue barrier to block the water arrows. The four martial artists also raised the star power barrier. Boom! The water arrows exploded, and the poisonous gas spread, corroding their star power and Taoist connotation. Lin Siyun was protected by the blue bead, so she wasn't affected. But the other four martial artists' star power and Taoist connotation were quickly dissipating. The water arrows kept falling. The four martial artists looked pale. Siyun, detoxify us. It would be fine if there was only a little bit of the poisonous gas. However, there were so many water arrows and endless poisonous gas. Their star force and Taoist runes would not be able to last long. Lin Siyun poured her star power into the blue bead, but it didn't work. Give me your hand. Let's hold it together. The azure pearl was only the size of a fist. The five of them could only touch it with their fingers. However, it was useless for them to hold the beads. Let me remind you, this bead can only protect one person, Shui Qin said. For a moment, the expressions of the five people from the Immortal Palace were extremely ugly. If it could only protect one person, how were they going to split it? Behind them, the shrunken Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon had calm expressions. A small thing like corpse poison was not scary at all. The Netherworld Abyssal Dragon was a pile of corpse toxins to begin with, so these were all nourishment for it. I have a serious suspicion that the Sea Tribe asked the Yellow Springs bloodline to build this place. The Nether Dragon greedily sucked in a mouthful of poisonous gas and transmitted his voice. Jiang Changkong lay on top of him. It would be great if there was only corpse poison. We could just lie down. The Abyss Dragon narrowed its eyes in satisfaction. Let them go first. It'll be a dogfight later. Boom! The sky was filled with water arrows, and there were still more water arrows coming, as if there was no end to them. Let's go into the coral forest. We can take turns using this thing, Lin Siyun suggested in a low voice. Okay, let's go and find Shui Qin and the other three. The four martial artists agreed and rushed into the coral forest. In this passage, there was only poisonous gas. They could not last long with just one bead. Only by entering the coral forest would they have a chance of survival. What about us? Jiang Changkong looked at the Nether Dragon. You are in charge here. Let's go in too. I will swallow as much corpse poison as there is. The Nether Dragon rushed into the coral forest with him. In the coral forest, azure light flashed, and frogmen moved in and out of the forest. The Nether Dragon grabbed one with its claws and melted the water of the yellow springs to strengthen itself. It did not forget to savor the taste. Not bad. Corpse poison with Dao is more delicious than ordinary corpses of the star path. Jiang Changkong, can you stop showing off your appetite? He could not stand the Nether Dragon's taste. He looked carefully at the coral forest and saw that there were some fake mountains. Azure light and black shadows moved in the forest. Those black shadows were indeed sea snakes. They were also dead creatures that contained corpse poison. The Nether Dragon grabbed one. Brother Kong, do you want to try it? I think it tastes like chicken. You better not say that again. Jiang Changkong's face darkened. We are not the same species. Don't use your heavy taste to measure me. This is a treasure land. The Nether Dragon looked forward with infatuation and swallowed several frogmen in one gulp. If you like it, stay here in the future. Don't go out. Jiang Changkong said lightly. The Nether Dragon shook its head. I have not completed my feat of flattening the Void Realm. I can't stay here. Jiang Changkong was speechless. He really did not know what to say to that guy. Don't eat first. The corpse poison here can take care of them. Jiang Changkong stopped the Nether Dragon from continuing to eat. The guy actually wanted to grow bigger to eat. If he really let it eat, no matter how much food there was, it would not be enough. Okay, let's go find them. We have to get that token. The Nether Dragon led Jiang Changkong and walked in the coral forest. Those were frogmen and sea snakes. Although they were dead creatures, they knew to avoid the Nether Dragon. Climbing up a coral tree, the Nether Dragon looked around and found Lin Siyun and the others. Lin Siyun and the others temporarily stabilized the situation. In the end, a Star Path warrior held the bead and held up a barrier to protect the four of them. However, even with the azure bead in hand, those dead creatures still attacked them in a frenzy. More and more poisonous gas appeared, almost forming a thick fog that enveloped them. Lin Suyun, are you still holding on? Shui Qin's voice was full of ridicule. Only one of you can live. Even if you take turns to protect them, you will only delay the time of death. If I were you, I would take the bead, leave them, and enter the palace to get the treasure. Shut up. Lin Suyun's voice was cold. Don't let us find you, or we will kill you. Shui Qin sneered. You'd better think about your companions. Will they kill you and take the bead? Primitive people have a strong survival instinct. In order to survive, they will kill their companions. Moreover, there is the treasure of the sea race. The voice of the gold lineage warrior sounded. You want to mess with our minds with these words? Lin Suyun sneered. We feel bad, but you, who don't have the token, will feel bad too. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but these damn things will not attack us. Shui Qin's voice was full of pride. Soon, the bead would be hers. Beside her, there was also an azure bead floating in the air. However, this bead emitted a misty water vapor, and those dead creatures all retreated. She knew many secrets of the sea race, and her understanding of the bead's usage was far better than Lin Suyun's. Lin Suyun could only protect one person, while she could disperse the nearby dead creatures, so they did not dare to come close. Thinking of this, she stood up and was about to speak again when she suddenly felt a pain in her ankle. A gray snake was grabbing a black sea snake and biting its ankle. Shui Qin, what was going on? Didn't they say that they would not come close? Wasn't this gray sea snake going too far? Chapter 382. The corpse poison could corrode star path martial artists, and as long as there was enough of it, none of these martial artists could escape. And once they died, they would become the best nourishment for the Abyss Dragon. Seeing that Shui Qin and the other three could actually chase away the sea snakes and frogmen, the Abyss Dragon could not hold it in anymore. However, no matter how he chased them away, these poisonous creatures were unwilling to approach the four of them. The Abyss Dragon had no choice but to do it himself. He caught a sea snake and fed it the poison himself. As a result, the scene before him happened. A human and a dragon stared at each other. Shui Qin was a little confused. The nether dragon put down the sea snake, turned around, and ran. What the hell is this? Kill it. Shui Qin's expression turned cold. However, the corpse poison had already entered her body. She could only hold the bead to remove the corpse poison. When the corpse poison was completely removed, the Abyss Dragon had already disappeared. Jiang Changkong sat cross-legged on the coral tree and manifested his Dao pattern to resist the corpse poison. The corpse poison was extremely terrifying. Even his Dao runes were being corroded. He even felt that if he allowed the corpse poison to corrode his body, it would eventually corrode his Dao pattern. Seeing the Abyss Dragon run back, Jiang Changkong quickly placed his hand on its body and let it absorb the corpse poison. The Abyss Dragon absorbed the corpse poison and lay on the coral tree, feeling slightly depressed. I can only catch snakes and bite them to death. Jiang Changkong sighed and said, forget it. If you don't kill them, they will kill you first. He had never seen an Abyss Dragon court death like this. It was really going all out for the sake of corpses. The Abyss Dragon sighed softly. What do we do now? Of course, we'll lure them there. Jiang Changkong pointed at Lin Suyun's group of 5. Let them find Shui Qin and the other 3. But they might not fight to the death, the Abyss Dragon said worriedly. It's better than wasting time here. If they die, we won't be able to take down Shui Qin and the other 3. Jiang Changkong said calmly. If they kept wasting time here, they would at most exhaust Lin Suyun's group of 5 to death, but Shui Qin's group would definitely be fine. At that time, they wouldn't be a match for the 4 of them at all. The Abyss Dragon brought him to Lin Suyun. How? Why don't we give them a rope and let them follow it? Jiang Changkong muttered. The Abyss Dragon thought about it for a moment and felt that it was feasible. Catch the sea snake, tie a knot, and tie it up. Then, he threw one end at Lin Suyun. Bang! A loud sound rang out. It was so loud that it attracted the attention of the 5 people. Well, long sea snake. This snake's venom must be terrifying. A martial artist exclaimed. Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon were rendered speechless. Have you been poison blind? This is clearly a rope made by many sea snakes tied together to guide you. The blue light swept across, and Lin Suyun's expression darkened. These are sea snakes tied together. Who tied them up? Other than us, they're the only ones left here. What are they trying to do? The Lunar Star Power martial artist frowned. Jiang Changkong gestured for the Abyss Dragon to drag the sea snake. It's moving. This is most likely a trap. We can't go over, Lin Siyun said coldly. Beware of traps, the extreme Star Power martial artist warned. The other martial artist frowned and asked, Is there any other way? Chase. We don't know where to go. Let's follow and see. The rest of the martial artists didn't hesitate and chased after him. Lin Siyun's expression changed slightly. Although she was unwilling, she could only follow. The Abyss Dragon and Jiang Changkong dragged the rope and ran while the other continued to tie the sea snake. 15 minutes later, the Abyss Dragon said in a low voice, It's about time, Brother Kong. Cut the rope. We'll hide. Jiang Changkong put away the tied sea snake. The Abyss Dragon cut the rope and hid in the coral reefs with him. Shui Qin's voice sounded again. Primitive people from the Immortal Palace, have you thought it through? Only one of you can survive, and that's the person with the sea race's token. The idiots from the Immortal Palace are probably wary of each other now, the Gold Meridian martial artist said. They'll kill each other to survive. Not to mention the sea race's treasure. Lin Siyun didn't reply to us. She's probably dead. The two Thunder Meridian martial artists sneered. Shui Qin was about to continue speaking when her gaze suddenly froze. She looked in the direction that the people had come from and retreated behind the three of them. Next, we'll just wait for them to kill each other. Before they kill each other, we'll kill you first. A cold voice came. Lin Siyun and the other four walked out. Kill. Without a word, the moon rose on the moon great path. The golden crow howled on the sun great path. Two beams of golden light shone through the darkness and slashed down. You actually found your way here? Shui Qin and the other three's expressions changed. Thunder surged out. Rumble. Their first exchange was a full-force collision. Monstrous star power swept out. The surrounding coral trees exploded and released an even more terrifying corpse poison. Great Path corpse poison, corrosive great path. The Taoist rhyme spread, shaking the earth and shattering the coral trees. Shui Qin quickly put away the bead, and the long zither released blue starlight. Puff! Blood splattered, and all kinds of blood gushed out. As soon as they exchanged blows, both sides were injured. Holy moon, true sun, heavenly thunder descends. Starfall. They stabilized themselves and attacked again, still with full force. Rumble. Endless star power spread out. Poisonous gas surged and corroded everything. In the distance, Jiang Changkong was still tying up the sea snake and a group of frogmen. Time more, time more. The Nether Dragon said while stuffing the sausages into his mouth. I can't believe I'm making sausages for you here. Jiang Changkong was a little depressed. These tied-up sea snakes and frogmen were for the Nether Dragon to eat. The battle in the distance was earth-shattering. Jiang Changkong paid attention to the battle while making sausages. The sea god's token is probably not easy to get. Both sides are protecting the token tightly. The Nether Dragon grabbed the coral trees with his claws. Should we destroy everything here? It's useless even if we destroy it. They won't die. Jiang Changkong said calmly. Let's wait. They're about to stop. If they keep fighting like this, they'll really die. Without the enhancement of a secret technique, the bead could only protect one person. In the past few exchanges, except for Lin Siyun and Shui Qin, who held the bead, everyone else was poisoned. Furthermore, due to the fact that the coral trees contained even more lethal poison, their strength was greatly suppressed, causing their strength to drop significantly. A large amount of corpse poison poured into their bodies. The Tao patterns trembled violently and showed signs of melting. Both sides stopped at the same time and took out the beads to detoxify each other. Shui Qin's expression was slightly cold. If we keep fighting, we'll all die here. You asked for it. Lin Siyun's expression was cold. If it weren't for you, we would have entered the palace to get the treasure. We'll continue fighting when we recover, The Lunar Star Power martial artist said coldly. Huh, do you dare to continue fighting? It's not good for anyone to be stubborn. Shui Qin's expression was cold. Let's talk about working together to get the treasure. Lin Suyun was silent. The four Immortal Palace martial artists looked gloomy. They didn't want to continue fighting either, but after what happened before, they didn't dare to trust these four people easily. In the past, it was the Immortal Palace who fooled others, but now they were being fooled. What? Do you really want to fight? The Thunderstar martial artist said coldly. Lin Suyun's eyes were cold. We can cooperate, but what about your sincerity? First you fooled us, and now you want to cooperate. How can we trust you? Then what sincerity do you want? Shui Qin said calmly. Lin Suyun looked at the bead in her hand. Why do you have this token? I have 2 beads, Shui Qin said calmly. Chapter 383. Nonsense. Why didn't I receive a notification when I got it? Lin Suyun's expression changed slightly. She had thought that she was the only token of the Sea Clan. That's because you know too little about the Sea Clan. Only by combining our tokens can we open the biggest treasure of the Sea Clan. Shui Qin said indifferently. I've already shown my sincerity. What sincerity? How to use it? Lin Suyun said coldly. Don't try to play tricks. If you don't tell me, no one can take the treasure. I can teach you the secret method of the Sea Clan. How's that? Shui Qin frowned. Lin Suyun nodded slightly and asked, how do we divide the treasure? Is there any danger in the palace? The treasure can be divided equally or according to our strength. There is no danger in the palace. Shui Qin's expression was cold. I've said enough. If you're greedy, then let's continue. Let's fight. The Immortal Palace warrior snorted and was about to attack. You think I'm afraid of you? The 2 Thunder Warriors urged the Thunder Star power again. For a moment, lightning flashed and thunder snakes dashed. Lin Suyun raised her hand and said with a smile, Deal. As for how to divide the treasure, we'll divide it 50-50. The Immortal Palace doesn't want more enemies. Okay, come here. I'll teach you the secret method, Shui Qin said. You come here, Lin Suyun said indifferently. You're full of tricks. It's safer if you come here. Shui Qin sneered. Do you really think I'm weak? How could I not know what kind of people the Immortal Palace was? They called themselves the Immortal Palace, but they did a bunch of evil things. We'll teach in the middle. I can't stop you with my strength, Shui Qin said coldly. Okay. Lin Suyun agreed. The others stepped back. Lin Suyun gave the bead to her companion and walked out. Shui Qin also gave the bead to the Thunder Warrior, and the 2 stepped into the poisonous fog. They stood facing each other. Shui Qin pointed at her and taught her the secret method of the Sea Clan. Lin Suyun smiled. Thank you. Let's go. Let's get the treasure together. Shui Qin returned to her companion and took the bead. As the 2 parties headed for the Sea Race's palace, Jiang Chongkong looked at the Netherworld Dragon. Both parties are not easy to deal with. Brother Long, I'll have to trouble you later. No problem. As long as there are corpses, leave it to me. The treasures are yours. The Abyss Dragon carried him and followed behind him carefully. The 9 martial artists joined forces once more and arrived in front of the Sea Race Royal Palace. There was a picture of a pearl on the door. Shui Qin said indifferently, It's your turn. The token in your hand can open the outer door. There's an inner door inside. You need my pearl. Lin Suyun nodded. She took out the bead and imprinted it on the pattern. Buzz. A pale blue light flashed, and the door of the palace slowly opened. A 5-colored light came from the Crystal Palace, and a gentle energy spread out, making one feel relaxed. The 5-colored light dissipated, revealing the situation inside. This time, Lin Siyun and the others walked in first. Their expressions immediately turned cold. Why is it empty? Empty? Shui Qin and the other 3 rushed in, and when they saw the empty palace, their expressions changed drastically. There was nothing in the empty hall except for 3 tightly closed doors. Maybe the treasures are behind the doors? The Thunder Martial artist muttered. That should be the case. This is the Sea Race's conference hall. It's normal that there are no treasures here, Shui Qin said after thinking for a moment. Lin Suyun's eyes flashed. Then which of the 3 doors should we go through? Shui Qin walked forward. The 3 doors all had the bead pattern. These are also the outer doors. You decide. I suggest opening them all. Lin Suyun's eyes flashed. She thought for a moment. You stand with me. This way, even if there was danger, the two of them would face it together. Shui Qin smiled and stood beside her without hesitation. Lin Suyun took out the bead and opened the door on the left. The door opened, revealing a passage. At the end was a corner. It was unknown where it led. She opened the other 2 doors, and they both led to the same passage. I suggest we go in the middle, Lin Suyun said. I have no objections, Shui Qin said. I don't know everything about the Sea Race Royal Palace. We're here to help you get the treasure. We'll listen to you, the 4 from the Immortal Palace said. The 9 martial artists were divided into 2 rows and walked side by side. Jiang Changkong and the Nether Dragon followed them from a distance. They only entered the passage after they turned the corner. There were murals on the walls on both sides of the passage. They were carvings of the sea race. There were fish, prawns, crabs, sea snakes, whales, and so on. The man and the dragon followed carefully. When they reached the corner, a painting on Jiang Changkong's back caught their attention. A mermaid. Unfortunately, it was a male fish, an extinct species. I wonder if there are still mermaids in the universe. Jiang Changkong transmitted his voice to the Nether Dragon. The Nether Dragon said, Of course there are. It said that the Yellow Spring clan is extinct, but I still exist. But I don't know if we can meet one. Let's go. I'm just curious about how beautiful this mermaid is, Jiang Changkong said. I'm also curious if this mermaid is delicious. Jiang Changkong sighed. He felt that there was a big gap between his and the Nether Dragon's thinking. This guy only cared about whether it was delicious and how to flatten the Void Realm. Rumble. There was another explosion. Jiang Changkong and the Nether Dragon hurried over. It was not a battle between the 2 sides, but a trap. The 2 sides worked together to flatten the trap. Under the ravages of time, the Sea Race Palace had also decayed. Even the early-stage star path could be forcibly pushed over. The passage was long. The 2 sides were still ahead. Jiang Changkong continued to look at the murals on both sides. There were some more star characters here. This is the Sea King Palace of the Sea Race's 13 Eastern Sea regions. Jiang Changkong looked at the star characters. It recorded that this was the 13 Sea Kings of the Eastern Sea regions, a near god. If the 13 Sea Kings were near-god powerhouses, what about the other 12 regions? How many regions were there in total? Wasn't the Eastern Sea a little too crowded? He could easily cross the sea with his current star path. If it was a near-god, he would be in someone else's territory in one step. There's no painting of the Sea King. The Nether Dragon glanced at it and continued forward. The 9 martial artists had reached the end of the passage. There was a palace with a plaque hanging on it. Sea Dragon Palace. Lin Suyun looked at the plaque. This Sea Race King is a sea dragon. We'll know when we go in. Shui Qin took out the bead. I'll open the inner palace. After saying that, she pressed the bead on it. The palace door opened, and the situation inside appeared again. It was still empty. What's going on? Lin Suyun's expression darkened. The main hall was empty. The inner hall was still empty. How could this be? Could it be that the Sea Race packed up and left? Shui Qin took 2 steps back. She was a little shocked, and her expression was very ugly. Could it be that someone cleaned up this place before us? The martial artist from the Immortal Palace frowned. Impossible. The token is in our hands. Or Lin Suyun, did you clean up this place in advance? Shui Qin's expression changed as she looked at Lin Suyun. If I was here, why would I come here? Lin Suyun said coldly. I think it was you who took away the things here. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to make it here. All right, there's no point in arguing like this. Let's look around. If there's no other way out, we'll go to the other 2 paths, the martial artist from the Thunder Sect said. Lin Suyun's expression was gloomy, and she didn't say anything. Chapter 384. The 9 martial artists searched the empty Sea Dragon Palace, but did not find anything. Jiang Changkong, an underworld dragon, quickly returned. The 9 martial artists had ugly expressions as they entered the left passage. Jiang Changkong was also puzzled. This place is empty. Did the 13 Sea Kings really not leave anything behind? Underworld Dragon shook its head. It seems we came here for nothing. Let's look at the left first, Jiang Changkong said. On the left was also the Sea Dragon Palace, but this Sea Dragon Palace was also empty. There was nothing. The 9-star path martial artists felt tired. They had finally found a treasure close to divinity, but it was still empty. They had put in so much effort to enter, but they got nothing. Is the sea race poor? The immortal palace martial artist scolded. Even emptier than human face, not a single star path item was left behind. The Sea King left an empty palace. It's really a disgrace to his reputation as a god. The Thunder Vein martial artist was also disappointed. A treasure close to divinity, they had great expectations before coming. Do we still go to the right passage? Of course, what if the right is not empty? The 9 martial artists entered the right again. Jiang Changkong lay on Underworld Dragon. Brother Dragon, did you not feel the corpses? No. Underworld Dragon shook its head in disappointment. Either there are no corpses here, or there is a powerful sea race great Tao that is perfectly sealed. Jiang Changkong did not say anything and followed the group to the end of the left passage. Wait. Seeing that Shui Qin was about to open the palace again, Lin Siyun stopped her. What's wrong? Shui Qin was puzzled. Our tokens are the same, and the pattern on the door is the same. I want to try and see if mine can open this inner door. Lin Siyun said calmly. Shui Qin smiled. What a joke. You are already a star path martial artist. Why are you still looking at things on the surface? The outside is the same, but the inside of the token is different. If it is not suitable, the token might be destroyed and the door will be closed. Thank you for your guidance. I was muddle-headed for a moment. Lin Siyun smiled and retreated to the side. Then I will open it. Shui Qin took out a pearl and prepared to imprint the door pattern. Xiao. Shui Qin's expression changed when she saw a cold light. She quickly withdrew the bead and retreated. What are you doing? You want to fight? The 3 martial artists' expressions were cold. The Tao rhymes of the Great Path circulated, and star power surged. Buzz! A blue pearl was imprinted on the door. The Taiyan warrior's face darkened, because the door had opened. Well said. I'll open the outer gate, and you'll open the inner gate. Lin Siyun sneered. You really think we're fools? Her token had also been opened. Explain. The Solar Star Power martial artist said coldly. Maybe I remembered wrongly, or maybe the door... Enough. Lin Siyun snorted coldly and directly interrupted her words. Your pearl, of course, can also open the door. You were the one who moved all the things here, right? Shui Qin's expression turned cold. Are you blaming me for not being able to find the treasure? Now, give me your pearl, Lin Siyun said coldly. In your dreams. Primitive people from the Celestial Palace. Do you think we are afraid of you? The Thunder Warrior snorted coldly and stood in front of Shui Qin. Kill! Without another word, the martial artists from both sides started fighting. The power of the Great Path vibrated, and the Tao rhymes spread out. Terrifying power shook the surroundings. Kaboom! The majestic power surged, and the tunnel could not withstand it and actually cracked. Finally, the battle has begun, the Abyss Dragon said excitedly. Shui Qin must have moved all the things here, Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. The Abyss Dragon curled his lips and said, Lin Siyun is also possible. Don't forget, the remnant people of the universe have always lived on this land. They must be very familiar with this place. Moreover, the opening of the relic by the Celestial Palace is a secret. Why would the remnant people of the universe appear on time? Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. If Shui Qin was the one who moved all the things here, then it makes sense. If she moved all the things here, then why did she come back? The Abyss Dragon was confused. I don't know. Let's keep watching, Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. The majestic power clashed, and the tunnel wall exploded, revealing another tunnel. This time, both sides did not hold back. They fought with all their strength, and every move was aimed at the vital parts. The 5 people from the Celestial Palace worked together to suppress Shui Qin's group of 4. The zither moved, and blue light shone. Shui Qin's lips moved, and she was chanting silently. At this time, Jiang Changkong felt a little strange. Shui Qin and Lin Siyun's soul ripples were somewhat similar, and the aura of the Great Path was also similar. If he had not received the soul inheritance, he would not have been able to see anything strange. Crack! The floor cracked, and black gas spread out. Roar! A deep and deafening roar exploded in everyone's ears. The aura of corpses. They are corpses, the Abyss Dragon said excitedly. Kaboom! The entire Sea Race Palace was shaking. The roar became louder and louder, and the black gas increased. Kaboom! The building above exploded, and the martial artists rushed into the sky. Roar! The roar finally rang out. The Sea Race Palace split in half, and a huge creature crawled out from below. It had a body like a giant python, and there were 2 bumps on its head. Its whole body emitted a strong dynamite. Its huge black body rushed out of the Sea Race Palace, and it carried Shui Qin and the other 3. Its lifeless eyes stared at the 5 people from the Celestial Palace. Is this your kind? Jiang Changkong patted the Abyss Dragon. The thing that rushed out was also a flood dragon, and it exuded an aura of death. No, this is the corpse of a sea dragon, refined with a special secret method, the Abyss Dragon said excitedly. If I devour it, I will definitely improve a lot. Jiang Changkong estimated that this sea dragon corpse was 2,000 feet long. It was 500 feet longer than the Abyss Dragon. This is a sea dragon. Lin Siyun's expression was gloomy. Originally, I did not want to attack so early, but you were too stupid. Shui Qin strummed her zither. Today, all of you will be buried here. Roar! The dragon's roar shook the sky, resounding throughout the Sea Race secret realm. Even the whales outside were alarmed. However, the whales did not come over. They were afraid of the sea dragon's pressure, and they fled far away. Kill! The 5 people from the Celestial Palace activated their Dao patterns and fought. This sea dragon's strength was at the peak of the early stage of the Star Path, but it was still a dead creature, and it could not use all its knowledge. If they really fought, there was a chance of victory. Below, the Abyss Dragon carried Jiang Changkong directly into the crack below. There are corpses down there? Jiang Changkong asked in surprise. Yes, a lot. This sea dragon corpse must have been refined to protect this place. The Abyss Dragon said in a low voice. The man and dragon rushed into the crack, and the situation inside appeared in front of them. A pitch-black city emitted a monstrous aura of death. 13 Sea Kings, Mermaid King's City. Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon stood below the city, and when they saw the name of the city, they were slightly surprised. This place must have been set up by the Yellow Springs branch. I can feel the terrifying corpse chi here. The Abyss Dragon's eyes flashed with the aura of death. The star array here is also the Yellow Springs branch's star array. Jiang Changkong's eyes lit up. You can handle it. This is the Yellow Springs branch's paradise. Sit tight, Brother Kong. The Abyss Dragon directly brought Jiang Changkong underground. This is all the underworld. Even if my inheritance is incomplete, I can use my instincts to move freely here. Chapter 385. Abyss Dragon flew underground and sensed the aura of the corpses. There are actually so many star crystals here. Jiang Changkong was excited. This city was full of star crystals. That's not right. Brother Kong, I should be the one rich with such a dense aura of death and corpses. Abyss Dragon was confused. Why were there star crystals? There should be corpses everywhere. Brother Dragon, there's no need to talk about this between us. Jiang Changkong grinned. I made so many sausages for you. It's time for me to get something. Abyss Dragon was depressed. Brother Kong, I'm just curious. Logically speaking, such dense aura of death and corpse shouldn't be able to turn into star crystals. It thought it would be a feast. It didn't expect Jiang Changkong to benefit from it. It's indeed abnormal. These star crystals are of the fire element. Jiang Changkong picked up a star crystal and said in surprise, the marine race has fire element. This one is of the wind element. Abyss Dragon also picked up a star crystal and noticed something was wrong. The ones buried here aren't from the marine race. Brother Dragon, help me keep the star crystals first. Whether I can step into Star Dao will depend on you. Jiang Changkong couldn't care about anything else. He needed to get the star crystals first. There were too many star crystals underground. Many of them were even ranked 10 star crystals. Abyss Dragon used its instincts. The Abyss Dragon moved like water and gathered the star crystals here. He opened up another underground space for Jiang Changkong to take out some equipment to process the star crystals. Abyss Dragon also started to help and put all the star crystals into the equipment. I want to go up and take a look. That's good too. It will take some time to process these star crystals. I'll go up with you. Jiang Changkong pondered. There was no point in waiting here. He wanted to process them and break through first. However, Abyss Dragon couldn't wait. He sensed the dense aura of death and corpse, but no corpses. This made him very unhappy. Moreover, the star crystals here were condensed from the corpses of other races. There were no real marine race corpses. There wasn't even a single water element star crystal here. One man and one dragon left the underground space and came to the surface. The majestic corpse chi filled the entire Mermaid King City. Due to the restriction of the star array, it did not spread out. Corpses of fishes, prawns, crabs, and sea snakes floated in the air. I was wondering why there weren't any sea race corpses. The Abyss Dragon grinned and pounced. Bang! A star array pattern flashed and directly shook the Nether Dragon down. Little brother Kong, help me. The Abyss Dragon bared its teeth and said. Jiang Changkong frowned. The great Tao of strength, the great Tao of soul, and the Taiji Yin-Yang art were unleashed. With a raise of his palm, boundless energy surged forth, and the Taiji became one. Buzz! The patterns of the star array appeared, and a blue light flashed. The Tai Chi unification dissipated, and the blue light slashed directly at Jiang Changkong. Walala! Golden blood flowed out like a fountain. The blue light had actually sliced him into two. The dense corpse aura prevented his wounds from healing. Little brother Kong. The Abyss Dragon's expression changed, and it quickly helped him absorb the corpse energy. The corpse energy dissipated, and Jiang Changkong's body quickly healed. However, his expression was dispirited, and he was heavily injured. Brother Dragon, I can't help you. Jiang Changkong's heart beat wildly. He couldn't even react to the blue light just now. Moreover, with his current strength, even a peak early-stage Star Path cultivator would have to be careful when dealing with his Tai Chi unification. However, before the blue light, he was unbelievably weak. This is the Sea Races array and the Yellow Springs array. The Abyss Dragon raised its head and looked at the corpse energy and death energy released by the countless corpses. All of them were surging in one direction. The center of the Mermaid King City. Let's go and take a look. The Abyss Dragon gave up on the corpses and looked at the center. Jiang Changkong lay on its body. It's safer on your body. Let's go. Other than the Yellow Springs creatures like the Abyss Dragon, probably only the Sea Races token could move freely in this ghastly place. The Abyss Dragon carried Jiang Changkong and flew deeper into the city. Jiang Changkong paid attention to the corpses. There were also human corpses, but they were all water elemental. Brother Dragon, did you see this sea snake blink? Jiang Changkong looked at a huge sea snake corpse and actually blinked. The Abyss Dragon raised its head and looked at the sea snake. Brother Kong, don't worry. If corpses dare to jump out, I have Brother Dragon. The Abyss Dragon finally found a sense of superiority and confidence. In a Yellow Springs path, Jiang Changkong wasn't as good as it. It would also fly with him one day. The human and the dragon soon arrived at the center. Jiang Changkong paid attention to the corpses along the way. Many of them blinked. However, the Abyss Dragon wasn't worried. The corpses didn't jump out, so it gradually relaxed. The Mermaid King Palace. In the center, there was a huge palace with its doors wide open. The star array inside was activated and emitted gray light. Endless corpse energy and death energy gathered to form a platform. And on this platform, there was a mermaid lying. Its upper body was human, and its lower body was a fishtail. It wore a crown and a dragon robe. Its delicate face was ruddy, and its chest was rising and falling. Faint breathing could be heard. Next to the corpse was a blue scepter inlaid with blue gems. It was surrounded by water vapor. Jiang Changkong finally saw a female mermaid. Strictly speaking, she was a mermaid. She was beautiful with long blue hair. But that wasn't what he was focused on. Is this alive? The corner of Jiang Changkong's mouth twitched. Why was it that when he entered the ruins, all the treasures were alive? Couldn't some of them really die so that he could take advantage of them? Roar. A low roar sounded, and a few sea snakes slithered over. The abyss dragon's expression changed, and it hurriedly retreated. Brother, it's all a misunderstanding. Brother Kong, and I will leave now. Jiang Changkong. Brother Dragon, where's your bragging just now? Seeing the abyss dragon retreating, the sea snakes returned to their original positions. Without thinking, the abyss dragon sank into the ground. Jiang Changkong felt that his brother dragon was trembling. Every muscle on its body was jumping. Brother Dragon, can't you protect them? Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. The abyss dragon wiped his sweat. More importantly, they're alive. Where are the sea snakes? What's going on? Can you tell? Jiang Changkong asked. The sea snakes are an array. As for the mermaids, they can revive. Have you heard of them? Of course, you can't say that. They should be the mermaid king who is injured. Although my inheritance is incomplete, I can tell that they're using the Yellow Springs array to revive themselves. The abyss dragon said in a low voice. Luckily, it didn't make things difficult for us because you're from the Yellow Springs. Jiang Changkong said with a hint of relief. Those sea snakes should be protecting the mermaid king. Not just the sea snakes. The rest of the corpses, including the sea dragon outside, are all guardians here. The abyss dragon said solemnly. They should be the Yellow Springs soldiers. Unfortunately, I lost my inheritance. Continue to get the star crystals. Let's see if there are star crystals in other places. Jiang Changkong suppressed these thoughts. He would think about it after he stepped into the path of stars. The abyss dragon nodded and led him to search underground. Since there were no corpses above, he could only help Jiang Changkong get star crystals. Although he was reluctant to leave those corpses, they couldn't afford to offend that person in the palace. Chapter 386. In 2 days, all the equipment was turned on and 90% of the star crystals were processed. He first processed the rank 8 and 9 star crystals, leaving behind some rank 10 and 7 star crystals. He didn't plan to process the rank 7 star crystals and bring them back to pay his salary. He processed a portion of the rank 10 star crystals and kept some of the rank 9 star crystals. There were 2 million low-grade star crystals, 5 million mid-grade star crystals, and 1 million high-grade star crystals. There were 800,000 top-grade ones. There were also quite a number of low-grade rank 9 star crystals, 600,000 low-grade, 400,000 mid-grade, and 200,000 high-grade star crystals. The top-grade ones, 100,000. There were 10,000 low-grade star crystals, 5,000 mid-grade, and nothing else. 372, 4 million. It was enough for him to step into the star Tao. There were no more rank 8 star crystals left, so there was no need to wait. After borrowing the underworld dragon's treasure, Jiang Changkong went into seclusion. Before he went into seclusion, he had to say something. Brother Dragon, this seclusion is very important, so I'll have to trouble you to stay away. The underworld dragon scratched the soil with its claws and hesitated. I'm afraid it will take a long time to break through to the Star Tao. Back then, I used a few months to comprehend the Star Tao. It's okay. With Brother Dragon's treasure, it will be done in a few days. Jiang Changkong said confidently. The underworld dragon used half a year to break through to the Star Tao with treasures. As for Jiang Changkong, he just needed to level up and he didn't need to work hard to break through. All right then, after you break through, if the entrance to the ruins closes, we should be able to break it open if we work together. The underworld dragon didn't say anything else and built a secret room for him underground. I'll go up and take a look. Come and find me after you break through. After bidding farewell to the underworld dragon, golden light shone down and the Tao patterns became active. Jiang Changkong first filled the secret room with white cloud Tao runes before setting up a soul illusion. He didn't even want the underworld dragon to know about Jiang Changyue's identity. 3 great combat bodies gathered in one body. Until now, only the soul martial Tao, near God, knew about it. He was finally going to enter the demigod realm of top martial artists. At the same time, it also meant that his martial arts were going to upgrade. 2 martial arts at perfection would upgrade at the same time. This time, Jiang Changkong was very restrained. Otherwise, with such a huge phenomenon, he would definitely rush out of this secret room. The 9 energy patterns on the 3-meter-tall golden body started to expand and fuse into every corner of his body. The dense star formation runes on the body-tempering star disappeared and were replaced by force Tao runes. Star power was being condensed and multiplied. Pure power and majestic blood chi were surging. A dark golden luster appeared around his body, and his 3-zhang-tall golden body stepped into a new level. With his 5 senses strengthened, Jiang Changkong's eyes opened and closed. 9 power patterns interweaved, and a body-tempering star appeared in his eyes. His gaze pierced through the abyss, earth, and the ground, and he saw the abyss dragon staring at the corpses in the city. The abyss dragon seemed to have sensed something. It lowered its head to look, then scratched its head. It did not discover anything. The sounds that came from above were the roars of the sea dragon corpse and the slaughter of the Star Path cultivators. This group of people was still fighting. In fact, with a single thought, he was able to project the battle situation into his mind through sound alone. However, these people also frowned and paused, as if they had sensed something. Jiang Changkong did not eavesdrop on them anymore. He had just broken through and was not familiar with using it yet. The sun great Tao improved. The sun star was like a real sun. The Tao patterns were condensed, and the Tao runes were dense. Within the sun star, an illusory image of a golden crow appeared. The moon star was like a real star now. The white-robed figure inside turned into the image of a jade toad. The sun true fire appeared, and the golden crow appeared. The moon vast cold formed, and the jade toad condensed. The Tao patterns of the 2 stars deepened by 30%. Next was the soul great Tao. The flower sky stamen condensed, and he stepped into the star path. Everywhere his soul power passed, everything appeared clearly in his mind. He could even hear their conversation clearly. The soul great Tao strengthened. If he searched the soul star's early stage, he would not explode so easily. The tyrant saber's star increased its Tao patterns. A formless saber light carried an aura of annihilation that could destroy all life. The Taiji great Tao, yin and yang combined. The true Taiji returned to one. On the white cloud great Tao, Jiang Changkong seemed to have turned into a cloud, the highest and most noble cloud in the world. He stood in the sky like the overlord of the sky, and all things bowed down to him. The 7 martial arts transformed, and the battle body star formation also became stronger, reaching the inferior grade star path. The power of the great Tao interweaved. Body tempering moon, sun, Taiji, soul, tyrant saber, and white cloud, 7 great Tao. The Tao patterns were like silk threads, crisscrossing but not interfering with each other. Jiang Changkong was not in a hurry to wake up. Instead, he used the previous method to carve the star formation. The star formation was carved, and he saw the great Tao imprint again. A ray of sunlight contained pure Tao patterns. This time, Jiang Changkong saw 1/10 of it. It was pure Tao pattern imprint, and it filled the inside of the sunlight. Jiang Changkong gradually came to a realization. A true drop of stellar energy contained the Grand Tao, not the Grand Tao itself. A drop of star power, a star. If the sun star had consciousness and enough power, it could explode with the sun great Tao, and it could definitely kill any star path cultivator. As for star sages and near gods, he wasn't sure. He only knew that if he could do that, it wouldn't be a problem for him to beat people of the same level with just 1 element and 1 martial art. If he could transform 8 martial arts into 1, he could even beat the current him, let alone beat people of the same level. Thinking about it, every attack was made up of endless stars and endless layers of complete great paths. Meanwhile, The power of others was just contaminated with the aura of the Tao patterns and formed a Tao aura. The difference was like heaven and earth. Jiang Changkong tried to let his astral power carry it according to the imprint of the Great Path. It was a great idea, but the reality was cruel. He couldn't do it, so the star power dissipated. He had no choice but to give up this idea for the time being and organize the information in his mind. There were many great Tao insights after the upgrade, which made Jiang Changkong have a deeper understanding of these great Tao. The Tai Chi Great Tao was the two extremes of yin and yang, one positive and the other negative. Under the embrace of the Tai Chi Great Tao, all the power in his body could be integrated into it, forming the Tai Chi unity. It was like turning the Tai Chi unity from before into instinct, and it wasn't a true integration. If he could really fuse them together, he would be able to cultivate the so-called ultimate combat body. The information in Zhang Xian's head sounded once more. The 30 Zhang golden body had transformed into the indestructible golden body. Rebirth from a single drop of blood was not an issue. Activating the 3 Zhang golden body was no longer 3 Zhang, but 1,000 Zhang golden body. The God-governing art had transformed into the imperial heaven scripture. There was nothing in the world that could not be controlled. Moreover, as long as a wisp of his soul remained, Jiang Changkong would not die. It was similar to the indestructible golden body's blood rebirth. The Holy Sun art had formed the Sun Sutra. Every move he made was filled with true sun fire that could burn the great Tao. The bright moon technique had transformed into the lunar scripture. The pure lunar power could seal the great path of ice. The tyrant saber turned into the heavenly saber of death. There was nothing in the world that it could not kill. It could sever the great Tao and extinguish all life. What surprised Jiang Changkong the most was the change in the White Cloud 9-layer sutra. The Cloud Tao Sutra. Under the white clouds, everything bowed their heads, and all living things lowered their heads. 7 martial arts, 7 great Taos, all of them had stepped into the Star Path realm. The great Tao power around Jiang Changkong's body had reached a terrifying level. With a thought, the entire sea race ruin appeared in his mind. The God-governing art combined with his 5 senses. Everything was under his control. And at this moment, no one could discover his spying. Not even the peak early-stage Star Path. As his heart surged, a figure condensed in Stargate. Chapter 387. Rumble. The 7 kinds of great Tao sensed it immediately, and the power of the great Tao pressed out. The white cloud path was the first to erupt. A tyrannical might of the way filled the Stargate. The great Tao of Taiji, the great Tao of Yin, the great Tao of body tempering, the 7 great Taos intertwined, and the Tao patterns weaved a great Tao net. The figure that had just been formed was immediately suppressed. A powerful great path of the soul contended with the 7 great paths. The great Tao of the soul was extremely terrifying. Even the 7 great Taos could not suppress it directly. For a time, the two sides were in a deadlock. The soul figure's expression was extremely ugly. "Brat, is this how you treat your seniors and benefactors?" "So it's senior. Even a strand of your divine soul possesses such might. Changkong admires you." Jiang Changkong's soul figure stood up and retracted the 7 great Taos. He was shocked, but at the same time he felt relieved. After all, the person in front of him was close to a god. Star Path martial artists bore the full power of the great Tao and were close to godhood. They had long since surpassed this realm. He had just entered the Star Tao and had only inherited a portion of the great Tao, not even 10%. It was not bad for him to be able to fight evenly with the remnant soul of a true god. Back then, when he had not entered the Star Path, he felt that he could give it a try. Thinking about it, he found it funny. Previously, he had been too naive and had underestimated a god. The power of the great Tao dissipated. Jiang Changkong cupped his hands and said, "It's all an instinctive defense. I did not expect Senior to suddenly appear." The soul figure's expression eased up slightly. "You have stepped into the Star Path much earlier than I expected. Senior, you promised to tell me where that thing is when I step onto the path of stars," Jiang Changkong said. There should still be some space left, the soul figure said. Senior, didn't you say that it was inexhaustible? Why is there only a little? Jiang Changkong frowned. Could it be that this fellow was tricking him? However, there was no benefit in fooling himself like this. If you want to find an endless number of them, you have to fulfill the wish of the wind vein, the soul figure said with a smile. Wind vein? Are they looking for me because of this? Jiang Changkong frowned. The soul figure said indifferently, the wind vein is looking for you because it used the power of 3 lights to open a stone box. There's a key inside. Open it for them and give them the keys. Don't move. Why? Jiang Changkong frowned. If it's a supreme treasure, it would be better for me to hold it in my hand. Or does the wind vein have something to do with you? After being in the void realm for so many years, this godlike person must have more or less figured out the void realm. The actions of these remnants of the void must have been seen by them. With your strength, you can't handle it. Opening that place will be dangerous, the soul figure said indifferently. Moreover, that key can only be used to open it. Jiang Changkong frowned and did not say anything. The soul figure continued. Only by opening that place will you be able to obtain more resources. There aren't many resources left on Earth now. The resources in the nearby starry skies have long been swept away by the major forces. Jiang Changkong pondered and said, in other words, you want the Wind bloodline and the others to take the risk, and you don't care about the lives of those survivors. Is your killing intent that heavy? The soul figure frowned slightly. Their lives have nothing to do with me. However, I have to remind you that some of their ancestors are still alive. I understand. Thank you for telling me. Jiang Changkong smiled indifferently. The ancestors behind them? So what? It was as if the remnants of the universe did not have any godlike people. They were far away in the starry skies and could not come back. Now was the best time for him to make a move. He allowed them to attack him, but they could not fight back? That did not make sense. Why did you come to the Mermaid King's place? The netherworld abyssal dragon sure is lucky. No wonder you guys are fine. The soul figure's thoughts shifted and already knew their current location. What's the situation with the Mermaid King? Jiang Changkong asked. Recuperate. With my mark and a netherworld abyssal dragon, she won't make things difficult for you. After saying that, the soul figure began to fade. Don't remove the Tao patterns I left behind. This is my way of contacting you. After saying that, the soul figure completely disappeared. Jiang Changkong pondered for a moment and sensed the star patterns in his mind. With his current strength, he could barely remove those 2 marks. After thinking about it, he still did not remove them. After the collision just now, he was no longer afraid of these crippled true gods, even though he was still wary of them. If he fought with all his strength, it would be hard to tell if he could survive, unless they recovered all their strength. And he was also improving quickly. Jiang Changkong began to check his data. Jiang Changkong. Early stage of the star path top grade. Low grade martial arts. Indestructible golden body. Beginner 1/500 000 Tai Chi Sutra. Beginner 1/500 000 Sun Sutra. Beginner 1/500 000 Moon Sutra. Beginner 1/500 000 Death Heavenly Blade. Beginner 1/500 000 Sky Sutra. Beginner 1/500 000 Cloud Sutra. Beginner 1/500 000 Top Grade Low Grade Array Art. Battle Body Star Formation. Incomplete Beginner 1/500 000 Essence. Energy and Spirit. 3073288 the decimal point. At the back had been ignored by Jiang Changkong. He still had 3 million essence, energy, and spirit to perfect 6 martial arts. Without hesitation, Jiang Changkong left the Cloud Sutra and the Battle Body Star Formation to upgrade 6 martial arts. After another upgrade, Jiang Changkong's 6 martial arts increased at the same time. All 6 martial arts had surpassed the early stage of the Star Path and entered the mid-stage. The mid-stage of the Star Path could bear 40% of the Great Tao. Of course, Jiang Changkong had just broken through and couldn't bear that much, but he could still bear 20%. The remaining 20% needed him to collect essence, energy, and spirit to upgrade. In the mid-stage of the star path, Jiang Changkong's strength increased exponentially. 10% of the Great Tao was a huge difference. When he reached the peak of the star path, the difference became bigger and bigger. When Jiang Changkong was at the peak of the star path, he had comprehended the Great Tao and opened 3 star bodies, which was why he could fight against the early stage of the star path. If he hadn't comprehended the Great Tao, even if he had 8 martial arts, he couldn't fight against the star path martial artists. Now that his 6 martial arts were in the mid-stage, Jiang Changkong felt that he shouldn't be afraid of the late stage of the star path. As for the peak of the star path, which carried 100% of the Great Tao, he had no idea. Immersed in the enlightenment, the defense of the indestructible golden body was still terrifying. The Great Tao couldn't be destroyed provided that it was the same level. Those who surpassed him could also break his defense. However, this was still very terrifying. Even the power of the Great Path could not injure him when he was also carrying 20% of the Great Path. I've been in seclusion for so long. It's time to go out. Jiang Changkong looked at the time. 7 days. With the underworld dragon's treasure and his ability to upgrade, even the underworld dragon himself would be ashamed of this speed. Activating the imperial scripture of heaven, his soul power swept across. The shocking scene left Jiang Changkong dumbfounded. The battle between the immortal palace and the remnant beings had reached a critical moment. And at this critical moment, Shui Qin and Lin Suyun acted at the same time, injecting corpse poison into their companions' bodies. After fighting for 7 days and 7 nights, everyone's Great Tao power and star power were almost exhausted. Now that the corpse poison entered their bodies, there was almost no chance of survival. At the critical moment, the 2-peak early-stage star path martial artists used the last of their strength and barely escaped. As for Shui Qin and Lin Suyun, they stood side by side and actually merged into one. After acting for so long, you guys are finally willing to risk your lives. Lin Suyun grabbed the corpses, her expression cold. 2 escaped, these 5 should be enough. Facing this change, Jiang Changkong couldn't recover for a while. The 2 fused, and their strength directly soared to the peak early-stage star path. No wonder he felt that their souls and Great Tao were similar, so they were the same person. Chapter 388. If this news were to spread out, no one would believe it. The Immortal Palace's Lin Suyun and Shui Qin were the same person, and both of them had reached the star path realm. After the fusion, she still looked like Lin Suyun. She brought the corpses of the 5-star path martial artists and rode the sea dragon's corpse into the Mermaid King city. Jiang Changkong moved and appeared beside the abyss dragon without a sound. Little brother Kong, you're out of seclusion? The abyss dragon said in pleasant surprise. Lower your voice. Someone's coming. Let's see what she's up to. Jiang Changkong said softly and sank into the ground with the abyss dragon. Now, he was a little curious. What was Lin Suyun trying to do by scheming so much? Could it be that he wanted to capture the 5-star path cultivators and give them to the king of mermaids as tonics? If that was the case, then it wouldn't be easy to make a move. He had taken the star crystal of the Mermaid King. Judging from the soul martial artist's tone, he had a good relationship with the Mermaid King. Moreover, because of the Netherworld Abyssal Dragon, he really could not ruin the Mermaid King's plan. Lin Suyun brought the 5-star path corpses and the 2 Sea Clan keepsakes and fused them into one. It was an azure gem, exactly the same as the one on the scepter beside the King of Mermaids. He opened the Mermaid King city and headed straight for the Mermaid King Palace with the Sea Tribe's token in his hand. Without the corpses, Lin Suyun had a smooth journey to the palace. Lin Suyun placed the 5 corpses of the star cultivators in front of the door. Then, the sapphire glowed with a gray light. A surge of soul force rippled out. The corpses of the 5-star path martial artists, under the illumination of the gray light, actually released a dense death chi. A majestic aura of death surged into the platform beneath the Sea King's body. Lin Suyun's lips parted as she chanted a silent incantation. The gemstone in his hand glowed brightly and slowly rose into the sky. The Mermaid King's scepter trembled slightly and emitted an azure glow that resonated with the gem. A near-divine body, a well-preserved near-divine body, a perfect water elemental body. Lin Siyun stood up slowly. Her eyes were burning with passion, as if she wanted to melt the Mermaid King. From now on, I will be the Mermaid King, the god of the sea tribe. His voice was filled with excitement, and his body was trembling. An illusory figure stepped out from Lin Siyun's body. It looked exactly like her. Soul. With the help of the sea tribe's token, the sapphire, his soul power was not afraid of the aura of death and corpse here. He flew towards the Mermaid King on the platform. In the dark, Jiang Changkong and the Abyss Dragon were a little stunned. He was going to take over the body of the Mermaid King. Was Lin Siyun crazy? A peak early-stage Star Path cultivator actually wanted to possess the Mermaid King? This near god was just recuperating. He was not dead yet. That crazy woman, the Abyss Dragon said in disbelief with its mouth wide open. She is indeed a crazy woman. However, what gives her the confidence to do so? Jiang Changkong said in a low voice. Without sufficient confidence, how would Lin Siyun dare to possess the king of the mermaids? The Abyss Dragon shook its head. What should we do? You want to watch her take possession? Of course we can't just watch. Let's go and see if we can save Lin Siyun. Don't let the Mermaid King kill her. Jiang Changkong brought the Nether Dragon and went straight to the Mermaid King's palace. At this moment, Lin Siyun had already entered the body of the Mermaid King. The sapphire that was glowing with gray light fell on the body of the Mermaid King. The gray light spread out, as if it was suppressing the body of the Mermaid King. The finger of the Mermaid King trembled for a moment and then stopped moving. His face was still red and nothing could be seen. A human and a dragon came to the front of the Mermaid King's palace again. The sea snake corpses swam towards them again. Brother Kong, I don't think she will succeed. Let's not go over. The Abyss Dragon was a little scared. These corpses would not give him face anymore. Whether they were from the Yellow Springs bloodline or not, they would still attack. Even if Jiang Changkong was in the middle stage of Star Path, he might not be a match for these corpses. It's okay. Two big star symbols appear between Jiang Changkong's eyebrows, and the aura of two true gods spread out. The sea snake corpses paused for a moment and returned. The Abyss Dragon looked at him in shock. Brother Kong, what are you doing? The two old friends of the Mermaid King. Jiang Changkong said, and all 8 martial arts turned into the power of the Imperial Heaven Scripture. With the aura of two true gods, they did not make things difficult for him. Brother Dragon, please protect me. After speaking, Jiang Changkong's soul body stepped out and flew onto the stone platform, entering the body of the Mermaid King. The body of the Mermaid King was filled with the Tao of water. It was a stronger Tao that far surpassed the total Tao of Jiang Changkong. The Tao of near gods. Although it did not explode, the aura of two true gods still gave him a strong pressure. The meridians were like the Tao dragons. Jiang Changkong went straight to the Stargate. A blue star door, a blue star filled with the aura of the Grand Tao and covered in profound Tao patterns floated within the star door. The soul of the Mermaid King was sleeping quietly in the blue star. Lin Siyun touched the star and felt the imprint on it. Mermaid King, did you also pursue the immortal realm? The Tao is complete, and this body is still at its peak. As long as I control this body, I will have the power of the Mermaid King when he was at his peak. The faint soul body directly stepped into the star. Jiang Changkong also came to the Stargate. With the imprint of a near god, it did not stop him. Lin Siyun had already entered the star. A broken gray dagger appeared in the hand of the soul. The soul of the Mermaid King was still sleeping and did not notice that danger had arrived. The gray dagger stabbed down and pierced the soul. Suddenly, it opened its eyes. The star shook and the Tao power shook. A strong force tried to force Lin Siyun back. But the gray dagger also released a strange Tao, suppressing the soul of the Mermaid King. You are courting death. The Mermaid King woke up and was furious. It tried to use the near god Tao to kill Lin Siyun. Although the star shook, the near god Tao did not attack Lin Siyun. It only shook. Stop struggling, Mermaid King. Lin Siyun's face was sinister. Your time is over. The mere folk have been destroyed. What's the point of you living? Get lost. The mermaid king roared. Her delicate face was full of anger. Tao patterns appeared on her soul. The strong Tao power spread and forced Lin Siyun back. But the great dagger was still in her soul. The Tao pattern shook, but it could not move the dagger. The mermaid king reached out and grabbed the handle of the dagger. Suddenly, the gray light shone and destroyed the power of her Tao. Why do you have this? The mermaid king let go and let the dagger destroy her Tao. Then, she reached out to grab Lin Siyun. I got it by chance. Mermaid king, accept your fate. This dagger has killed a near god. Although it is broken, you are not at your best. Lin Siyun said coldly. Instead of retreating, she lunged at the mermaid king. You can't kill me. The mermaid king's expression was cold. She ignored the damage caused by the dagger and grabbed Lin Siyun. Ah! A blood-curdling scream could be heard. Lin Siyun's soul was forcefully torn apart by the mermaid king. But the mermaid king was also injured. The dagger went in again, and her soul body staggered back. I didn't expect you to fight with your life under such circumstances. Lin Siyun's face was ferocious like a ghost. The mermaid king did not say anything. Suddenly, she looked up. A soul figure with great power landed on the star. Chapter 389. Jiang Changkong. I'm Liangxiu Xuani's master. Lin Siyun's expression changed. She then smiled. Since you're here, help me kill the mermaid king. You'll be rewarded. Although she did not want to see Jiang Changkong, it would be great to have another helper. She had used Liangxiu Xuani many times and had given Jiang Changkong many benefits. At this time, if nothing unexpected happened, Jiang Changkong should be helping her. The joy on the mermaid king's face turned cold when she heard that. She felt the aura of an old friend. It was a familiar one. However, this person seemed to know her opponent. They seemed to be friends too. Jiang Changkong glanced at Lin Siyun and looked at the mermaid king. 13 Ocean Kings? Mermaid king? My old friend asked me to send his regards to you. The mermaid king smiled, but she was still cautious. Okay, help me kill her. I can't kill her for now, Jiang Changkong said. I still have a lot of things to ask her. Huh? The mermaid king's face turned cold again. Jiang Changkong, you don't want the resources of the fairy palace anymore? Lin Siyun's expression was cold. There are countless resources in the fairy palace. I can get you the research on the power of the sun. I'll get it myself. The information in your head is what I want. Jiang Changkong snorted. He raised his palm, and his soul power shrouded the mermaid king. I'll help you catch her then. I just need a remnant of her soul. The mermaid king attacked again. Her soul palm fell. Jiang Changkong, you're courting death. Lin Siyun shouted angrily. Her soul shone with dark light, and she dashed out of the star. You can't leave. Jiang Changkong chased after her and said goodbye to the mermaid king. Mermaid king, I'll help you later. As soon as the two left, the mermaid king relaxed and collapsed. She immediately activated her godly Tao to resist the erosion of the dagger. Two figures dashed out of the mermaid king's body one after the other. Lin Siyun was still one step faster. After all, with the blue gemstone, she was not suppressed by the mermaid king's great Tao. His soul returned to his body, and the Tao might of an early stage, star Tao swept out. Rumble. With the amplification of the blue gem, the vast Tao might and the water great Tao's might increased. Jiang Changkong, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. You're just a soul, so how can you still be so arrogant? Lin Siyun shouted coldly and slammed her palm toward Jiang Changkong, who was sitting cross-legged. As for Jiang Changkong, his soul had yet to enter his body. Roar! The abyss dragon roared, but the great Tao energy sent it tumbling. Dang! As the palm landed, it felt like it had landed on a godly bell. The runes automatically manifested, and a powerful rebound force swept out. Puff! Blue blood splattered everywhere as Lin Siyun was sent flying. Her expression was one of shock. Not only did his palm strike fail to break the defense, but he was also injured by the recoil. Her water great Tao was also directly dispersed. Jiang Changkong's soul returned to his body. He opened his eyes and looked at Lin Suyun coldly. Without the suppression of the Mermaid King's great Tao, you're like an ant in front of me. His soul power swept out. There was nothing in the world that couldn't be controlled by the imperial scripture of heaven. A powerful force forcefully wrapped around Lin Suyun. The water great Tao was activated, and the power of the Tao pattern was vast, but she couldn't break free. Her body flew toward Jiang Changkong uncontrollably. His water great Tao turned into a blue chain and tied her up. How can you control my great Tao? Lin Suyun wanted to struggle, but she couldn't do anything. Even her water great Tao had become Jiang Changkong's weapon. Jiang Changkong didn't say anything. He pressed his right hand on Lin Suyun's forehead and searched her soul. Images appeared in his mind, allowing him to watch them. However, he couldn't take it for long. The content was a little explosive. This woman actually used her own body to gain a higher position. She and Shui Qin were originally the same person. She found the soul incarnation secret technique in some inheritances. She used some rare materials to refine Lin Suyun's body and sent it to the Immortal Palace. There were two existences behind her. One was from the Immortal Palace, and the other was a remnant of the universe. She used Lin Suyun's body to hook them up. That was why she could get the Immortal Palace's information and top-tier medicine. She had already used her main body, Shui Qin, to move the things in the ruins here. She had long discovered the Mermaid King city, but she wasn't strong enough back then, and she didn't have a dagger. Recently, her strength had improved, and she obtained the incomplete soul dagger. She tricked the martial artists from both sides, and used the Star Tao blood sacrifice to forcibly possess them. However, the blue gem could only obtain the Mermaid King's inheritance. But she was too ambitious. She not only wanted the Mermaid King's inheritance, but also the Mermaid King's godlike power. It was worth mentioning that the relatives of Liangxiu Xuani and the other disciples were all killed by her. Some of them weren't killed, so she used her name to save them, making them feel grateful. What a good move. You want to take advantage of both sides, but you want to destroy one side. After Jiang Changkong read through the memories, he infused his astral power to seal Lin Suyun. After searching her soul, Lin Suyun knew that Jiang Changkong knew everything about her. I've been good to you. I've given you so many benefits, but you're biting the hand that feeds you. Lin Suyun yelled hysterically. Good to me? But why do I see the death trap you've set for me in your memories? You wanted to kill me the second time Liangxiu Xuani asked me to cooperate with you. Jiang Changkong sneered, but my strength increased too quickly, beyond your estimation, and the Federation paid attention to me, so you didn't know where to start. No matter what, you owe me a favor, Lin Suyun said coldly. Don't make it sound so funny. Even if I owe you a favor, it's Liangxiu Xuani's. Jiang Changkong pointed his finger, and Lin Suyun fainted. Brother Dragon, help me look after him. Brother Kong, can you eat her? The nether dragon ran overexcitedly and bared its teeth. Not now. Keep her to see Liangxiu Xuani, Jiang Changkong said, and looked at the Mermaid King. I'm going to see her. His soul entered the Mermaid King's body again, and the suppression of the divine path was even stronger. Jiang Changkong knew that the Mermaid King had woken up and regained control of its body. The Mermaid King came to the planet again. It supported itself with its tail and looked at Jiang Changkong coldly. You don't even trust your old friend now? Jiang Changkong said indifferently. The soul-stabilizing tree in his soul swayed. I'm afraid you can't stop the soul-stabilizing tree in your current state. The dagger was still stuck in her soul, and it hadn't been taken out yet. If Jiang Changkong didn't come in, the Mermaid King would be able to kill Lin Suyun, but it would also be severely injured. The Mermaid King's expression gradually relaxed. Jiang Changkong and the soul-stabilizing tree were enough to devour her. The soul-stabilizing tree's roots extended out and wrapped around the dagger. Jiang Changkong's expression darkened. Bear with it. The Mermaid King nodded silently. A majestic soul power surged, and the soul-stabilizing tree's roots pulled out the gray dagger. The Mermaid King's soul body shook violently. The divine path flowed, and it stabilized its soul body. "Are you his disciple?" the Mermaid King asked. "No, I just received his inheritance," Jiang Chongkong said indifferently. The Mermaid King said calmly, "What wish do you have? When I recover, I can fulfill it." "I can make any wish?" Jiang Chongkong looked slightly excited. "Of course," the Mermaid King said proudly. "I want to become a divine person first." The Mermaid King was speechless. Chapter 390. The King of the Mermaids glared at him angrily. They said it was a wish, but they didn't ask him to make a wish blindly. Directly become a god? With this ability, her subordinates were all close to gods. Cherish the opportunity one gave you. I'm not joking. The King of the Mermaids had an unfriendly look on her face. This was purely a joke. You can't give me what I want. For example, the golden substance in your hands. Another example would be top-grade cultivation resources. You can't take them out right now. Jiang Chongkong said calmly. The inheritance of the Nether God, the lineage of the underworld. You choose, the Mermaid King said calmly. Jiang Chongkong pondered and said, Then I'll take the Yellow Springs lineage, the Ghost Path, and the Corpse Path. It would be best if it's the Nether Dragon lineage. Do you have one? The King of the Mermaids did not say anything. With a point of his finger, a large amount of information flowed into Jiang Chongkong's mind. Yellow Springs Dao Cultivation Method. Yellow Springs Dao Cultivation Comprehension. After transmitting the message, the King of the Mermaids did not do anything else. He watched quietly as Jiang Chongkong digested the information in his mind. Yellow Springs Evil Ghost, Yellow Springs Corpse Dao. These two cultivation methods were both Abyss Dragon's cultivation methods. Thank you. Jiang Chongkong cupped his hands. The Mermaid King's expression changed slightly. Are you a martial artist in the form of Tai and Taiyang? Yes, you and your gods seem to be paying attention to this matter. Jiang Chongkong was puzzled. Is this very important? You should go. The Mermaid King waved his hand, unwilling to say more. Jiang Chongkong chuckled and left her body. As his soul returned to his body, Jiang Chongkong looked at the platform. The gemstone that Lin Suyun had brought had already been integrated into the scepter. The scepter exuded a vigorous aura of the Great Path. It should be a divine artifact. Little Brother Kong, the Abyss Dragon, was lying beside him. When it saw that he had woken up, it quickly stood up. How's the situation? Jiang Chongkong pointed with a finger and passed the Yellow Springs technique to him. The Abyss Dragon paused for a moment as he organized and digested the information in his mind. He was incredibly excited. Yellow Springs Inheritance. Thank you, Brother Kong. Let's go. Jiang Chongkong left with Lin Siyun and the Abyss Dragon. Little Brother Kong, I'll carry you. The Abyss Dragon was extremely grateful when it received the inheritance, and it willingly took the initiative to serve as a mount. The human and dragon left the Mermaid King City, and the city gate was closed again. With the Abyss Dragon around, the corpse poison outside was not a problem at all. After leaving the sea race ruins, there were no living creatures in the deep blue sea. The whales were nowhere to be seen. Soon, they arrived at the entrance. The entrance was still open. Rumble. Just as the two of them stepped out of the ruins, the power of the Great Path blasted toward them. The void shattered, and the entrance to the relic behind him disappeared. The power of extreme yin and extreme yang, the invincible golden light, and the destructive lightning all fell. Roar! The Nether Dragon roared, and a monstrous corpse energy filled the air. The Yellow Springs stirred, and the Corpse Dao manifested. Jiang Chongkong did not move. The great Dao of force manifested, and a formless force spread. The power of the Great Path collapsed, the void shattered, and all kinds of attacks were eliminated. Impossible! The great Dao that filled the sky trembled, and a vast Dao might spread out. A solar star power cultivator showed a horrified expression. Behind him were three martial artists who were equally terrified. The four of them were extreme Yang Star Force martial artists and were at the middle stage of Star Path. The three of them were not weak, either. One of them was a peak early-stage Star Path martial artist who had escaped. On the other side, there was a Thunder Race martial artist who was similar to them. One was a metal-attributed Star Path martial artist and was at the middle stage of Star Path. The other two were early-stage Star Path martial artists and were no weaker than the Nether Dragon. However, the two of them were at the middle stage of Star Path, and their attacks were easily dealt with. What great gift! This Jiang will accept it. Jiang Changkong smiled coldly. The great Tao of Force manifested in the air, and the great Tao of Force appeared on his forehead. You are Jiang Changkong. The ethereal Immortal Palace martial artist's expression changed, and he shouted, "We are not here for you. Hand Lin Suyun to us." That's right. We are here for Lin Suyun, the survivors of the three bloodlines said as well. Jiang Changkong sneered. He pressed his right hand down gently, and a formless force spread out with the great Tao. Fight first. Kill. The 8 martial artists shouted furiously, and great Tao power pressed down. Boom! The great Tao of Force shattered the great Tao of Metal and landed on the middle stage Star Path martial artists. The horrifying force tore their bodies apart. Another martial artist's great Tao of Sun turned into a sun, but the formless fist force directly pierced through the sun and his body. Bang! Bang! The other Star Path martial artists exploded, turning into blood mist. Their faint souls left their bodies and flew towards Jiang Changkong. This person cannot be defeated. The 2 Star Path martial artists were horrified. They turned around and rushed out. Come back, Jiang Changkong said indifferently, and the 2 Star Path cultivators lost control of themselves and were sent flying back. Jiang Changkong, we have no grudges, the metal lineage martial artists shouted frantically. It was too horrifying. They had joined forces with so many Star Path martial artists, but they could not block one move from Jiang Changkong. Furthermore, Jiang Changkong could control their bodies, so they could not even leave. Jiang Changkong did not say anything. Soul-searching art. Scenes flash past. Jiang Changkong's killing intent surged. He directly extracted their souls and fed them to the soul-stabilizing tree. No grudges? They all wanted to kill him and take over his body. If it were not for the people from the Wind lineage stopping them, it would not have been Feng Qixing looking for him. Now it seemed that the people from the Wind lineage really had no ill intentions towards him. He threw the corpses to the Dark Dragon and checked their spatial equipment. The Immortal Palace martial artists, like the group of survivors, all wanted to take over his body. Brother Kong, your strength is a bit scary. The Dark Dragon happily received the corpses and sighed at Jiang Changkong's terrifying strength. My strength is almost enough to dominate the Void Realm. Jiang Changkong digested the information obtained from the soul-searching and had an understanding of his own strength. The strongest in the Void Realm was only in the late stage of the Star Path. As for the peak of the Star Path, they had all gone to the starry sky. He was invincible. The Dark Dragon was excited. Then what are we waiting for? Let's flatten the Void Realm. Jiang Changkong was speechless. I was just talking nonsense. I'm not invincible. He actually forgot that the Dark Dragon had a great dream. Ahem, we can't flatten the Void Realm. We Earthlings still have to develop here. However, the people from the Metal, Water, and Thunder lineages, as well as the Immortal Palace's stronghold, must not be left alive. Jiang Changkong coughed softly, his eyes filled with coldness. The 3 lineages and the Immortal Palace all wanted to take over his body, so he had to destroy them. Moreover, the Immortal Palace Research Palace, where the late-stage Star Path cultivators were stationed, should have Star Sage research materials, and he had to get them. Then who are we going to destroy now? The Dark Dragon asked, then muttered, It's best to flatten the Void Realm. Jiang Changkong said faintly, Let's go to Star City first, where Liangxiu Xuani is. We'll destroy that place and go into seclusion there. Now, he could destroy whoever he wanted, and no one could stop him. The Dark Dragon said unhappily, She's just an ant. Why does Brother Kong care so much about her? Wouldn't it be better to just kill her? She can also gather Lin Suyun's people to continue hiding in the Immortal Palace or work for me. Jiang Changkong brought the Dark Dragon to Star City. Brother Dragon, don't even think about destroying the Void Realm. You were also born in the Void Realm, and this is your hometown. Other than you, there's only humiliation left for me here. The Dark Dragon said in grief and indignation, I've been bullied since I was born. I can only pretend to be dead. Jiang Changkong mourned for the dark dragon. He did not expect it to be like this. However, he felt that it had other ideas in its next sentence. Moreover, I want to build a kingdom of the dead. Chapter 391. Abyss Dragon preferred death. If a star was filled with corpses and ghosts, it would be heaven for it. I will help you forge it in the future, but I still need to feed the soul-stabilizing tree with souls. Jiang Changkong said as he rushed. Abyss Dragon had the Yellow Springs Ghost Dao, so he could raise evil ghosts. He needed some souls too. I only need some weaklings to practice on. You can feed those above the star realm to the soul-stabilizing tree. Abyss Dragon replied. Those below the star realm wouldn't be of much help to the soul-stabilizing tree. Star City. It was located deep in the mountains and was surrounded by mountains, completely surrounding this place. A formation was hidden within. Jiang Changkong sensed the strength of the formation. It wasn't bad at the mid-stage. The star demon here should have inherited 30% of the great Tao. How do we start? Abyss Dragon asked. Let's start. Jiang Changkong punched towards the mountains. Rumble. A shocking sound spread out. The mountains shattered and turned into dust, drowning Star City like snow. Jiang Changkong didn't use any power in the dust, so the people inside and the star demon would be fine. However, the mountains collapsed, and the formation here was also destroyed. Roar. Roars came from Star City. Many star demon flew into the air. Among these star demon, there were many humans. Roar. A shocking roar spread out. A huge star demon flew over from afar. Wherever the star demon passed, the space couldn't bear it and cracks appeared. Jiang Changkong. In the crowd below, Feng Qixing was shocked. This killer came to the black market? Feng Xiaoye's face turned pale. Jiang Changkong dared to do this because he had the confidence to fight against mid-stage Star Dao. He had already stepped into the Star Dao. Human, which lineage are you from? The huge star demon arrived and stared at Jiang Changkong angrily. He wasn't in a hurry to attack. To be able to destroy this place with one punch and break the star formation, he was definitely at the mid-stage Star Dao. They were both at the middle stage of the star path, but when they fought, it was hard to determine who would live and who would die. Moreover, it had an agreement with the remnants of the universe. As long as it knew which bloodline it belonged to, it could find the other party directly. Earth's lineage, Jiang Changkong said faintly. Earth lineage. The star demon below was in an uproar. A star demon said in fear. The Earthlings have already fought their way here. This group of damned Earthlings. It's enough for them to develop in the periphery of the Void Realm. How dare they come and cause trouble in the depths? A star demon roared and stepped into the sky. The void trembled and the power of the great Tao weaved about. Initial stage of star path. Earth lineage. This place doesn't welcome you. Leave immediately. The star path middle stage, star demon didn't act rashly. The only response to it was a punch. A place that doesn't welcome me is not allowed to exist. You're courting death. The star demon roared angrily. Its huge claws descended, and the power of the great Tao was attached to them. Rumble. A terrifying power blasted out. The great Tao of power shattered the void. The star demon's great Tao collapsed. Its claws collapsed, and flesh and blood splattered everywhere. The abyss dragon quickly flew out and collected all the flesh and blood. A punch shattered the star demon's claws. The remaining force did not dissipate, and it directly pierced through the star demon's body. As for the other star path early stage star demon, Jiang Changkong waved his hand, and it directly exploded. Instant kill. You goodbye. Jiang Changkong snorted coldly. He came in front of the star demon, and his hands directly sank into the star demon's body, tearing it apart. Clatter! The star demon was torn apart, and its internal organs fell down. The abyss dragon was even happier collecting it. Its soul force swept over, and a beast shadow was collected. It directly searched its soul and then fed to the soul-stabilizing tree. The star path middle stage star demon is dead. The star demon below was stunned. The crowd was also shocked. The Star Path middle stage star demon was directly torn apart by Jiang Changkong. Its soul was imprisoned and fed to the soul-stabilizing tree. Run! It was unknown who shouted, but the star demon scattered in all directions. However, the abyss dragon was faster than them. The yellow springs covered the sky, and endless corpse water rained down, corroding life. Of course, it avoided the crowd. Jiang Changkong kept his spatial equipment. He raised his palm, and Liangqiu Xuanyi appeared in front of him. I haven't seen you for a few days, and you have already become familiar with them. Your strength has become even more terrifying. Liangqiu Xuanyi took a deep breath and recovered from her shock. Jiang Changkong tapped with his finger, and some memories entered her mind. I will temporarily seal the rest of the memories. This is what you want, the cause of your grandfather's death. Liangqiu Xuanyi's face turned pale. Is it really my master? A ball appeared in Jiang Changkong's hand. Lin Suyun was sleeping inside. I brought her here to give you a chance to personally take revenge. What do you want me to do? Liangqiu Xuanyi quickly calmed down. Jiang Changkong would not take revenge for her for no reason. He even brought Lin Suyun to her for her to kill. I want you to work for me in the future. You can go to my territory or continue to hide in the Immortal Palace. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. How about it? Sure, but I want to ask her personally, Liangqiu Xuanyi said. The ball disappeared, revealing the unconscious Liangqiu Xuanyi. She condensed a solar fireball in her hand. Take it, and you can kill her. Many thanks. Liangqiu Xuanyi thanked him and left with Lin Suyun. Jiang Changkong descended and arrived in front of Feng Qixing. Changkong. The corner of Feng Qixing's mouth twitched. He looked very unnatural. Jiang Changkong said indifferently, I agree to your wind veins matter. I will enter seclusion here. I agree? Feng Qixing was startled. He did not expect Jiang Changkong to come here to talk about this matter. Given his current strength, he did not fear the wind vein at all. However, Jiang Changkong did not seem to know what was going on. Go and inform the people of your wind vein. Inform the remaining veins too. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. Okay, wait. Why do I need to inform the remaining veins? Feng Qixing replied instinctively. He came back to his senses and was puzzled. Jiang Changkong said coldly, Don't wait for me to find them, especially the metal, water, and lightning veins. Tell them to come and die. Feng Qixing, what exactly did you experience after we parted? In just 10 days, you stepped into the Star Path and gave birth to a Star Path mid-stage star demon. But he did not dare to ask and quickly left with his people. The underworld dragon killed all the star demon, and Jiang Changkong took out the soul-stabilizing tree to absorb the star realm souls. Those below the star realm were collected by the underworld dragon to be refined into evil spirits. I will go into seclusion first. The underworld dragon said. Okay, go underground and enter seclusion. I will kill some more people these few days. Don't alarm you. Jiang Changkong reminded. When the Star Realm remnant beings came, it would not be easy. Plus, he destroyed Star City and killed 2 Star Path Star Demon and all the Star Demon here. The Star Demon would come looking for trouble. The underworld dragon went underground and entered seclusion. Jiang Changkong started to count his gains this time. He had killed so many star paths, and his gains were not small. Plus the income of this star city. There were hundreds of thousands of rank 9 astral crystals in total. There were even over 100 grade 10 star crystals, although they were all low grade. But all of them added up was enough for his other 2 martial arts to enter the star path mid-stage. Plus, there were the remnant beings of the 3 veins and the star demon who came looking for trouble. He might be able to enter the star path mid-stage directly. He took out his equipment and processed the star stones and some unprocessed star crystals. Chapter 392. On the other side, Liangqiu Xuanyi returned with Lin Suyun. You didn't kill her? You couldn't do it? Jiang Changkong was slightly surprised. He did not expect Lin Suyun to still be alive. I've sorted out my memories. She also knows some soul techniques. Liangqiu Xuanyi said indifferently. I'm worried that her soul will escape after I kill her. After saying that, the solar fireball was pressed into Lin Suyun's body. The great path of the sun burned, and even the Tao patterns were burned. Jiang Chong Kong extracted the soul and fed it to the soul-stabilizing tree. Liang Xiao Shuani said calmly, I will try to contact the other senior and junior sisters in the future to do things for you. Okay, remember to take care of the territory. Jiang Chong Kong responded and sat down cross-legged. Work hard on your cultivation. Liang Xiao Shuani sat down, but did not cultivate. After this, are you going to the galaxy? Yes, the void realm can no longer help me improve. I must go to the galaxy. Jiang Chong Kong's eyes were full of yearning. There was a golden substance there. As long as he could find the golden substance, he could quickly step into the near-God realm or even surpass it. Before becoming a near-God, he had no sense of security. First, his body was tempered to near-God, then Hua Tianrei, his soul, and recently he met the Mermaid King. Once those near-God powerhouses recovered, even the Federation might not be able to stop them. Moreover, apart from them, there were other near-God powerhouses that he had never seen before. These were all potential threats. Who knew if one day they would lose their minds and take over his body? Only when he was strong enough would he be able to defeat all of them. At that time, whether it was a near-God or an incomplete near-God, they would all become stepping stones for him to level up. Time passed quickly as the two of them chatted from time to time. After processing the star crystals, Jiang Chong Kong counted the remaining star crystals, including the remaining ones from the Mermaid King City. Low-grade, 9th-grade star crystals, 320,000 pieces. Mid-grade star crystals, 110,000. High-grade star crystals, 60,000. Top-grade star crystals, 40,000. Low-grade, 10th-grade star crystals, 1,520 pieces. Essence, energy, and spirit. 8952000, close to 9 million essence, energy, and spirit. He was not in a hurry to break through. He waited for the remnant stars and the star demon. However, for 2 days, no one or the star demon came. Someone and the star demon, on the other hand, glanced at him from afar and quickly left. Jiang Chong Kong did not make things difficult for the people monitoring him. This group of people should be preparing to deal with him. Dressed in a black gown, Jiang Chongyue also walked over. With merely a single glance from Liang Xiao Shuani, she merged with heaven and earth. Another 2 days passed, and several figures appeared in the sky, along with the star demon. These people and the star demon had very dense great Tao energy on their bodies. They were all star Tao martial artists. 23. The ones leading them were 4 late-stage star path experts, and one of them was a star demon. Boundless might of the way swept over, and the dense great path of wind contracted. A young man descended and said politely, Feng Xing of the Wind Bloodline greets Lord Jiang. Fire Veins Yin Zhenhai greets Lord Jiang, said the red-haired, burly Wind Veins Lord. The others were silent and did not speak. Jiang Chong Kong glanced at the 4 late-stage star path experts. Feng Xing was one, and the star demon was another. The other 2 were from the thunder vein and water vein. The fire veins Yin Jinhai was only a metal vein martial artist at the mid-stage star path. Apart from these few veins, there was also an earth vein martial artist, whose leader was also at the mid-stage star path. I heard from Qi Xing that Lord Jiang has already agreed to the Wind Veins request. In that case, please do it, Lord Jiang. Feng Xing took out a stone box and said with a solemn expression, Before that, I would like to remind Lord Jiang that the power pattern, the moon, and the sun must merge into one before it can be opened. Although I do not know the power of the moon, Chongyue is already here. Someone told me that it can be opened, said Jiang Chongkong calmly. Someone? May I ask who it is? Feng Xing and the others' expressions changed slightly as they asked. They did not spread this information. Who had secretly contacted Jiang Chongkong and told him about it? Not one of you, but a senior. Jiang Chongkong said lightly, He can be considered your ancestor level, an ancient near god. What? You met an ancient near god? The remnant beings of the universe became excited and hurriedly surrounded him to ask, Lord Jiang, please tell us which near god it is. Jiang Chongkong pondered and said, Which one are you asking about? The group and the star demon. Which one? You know several of them? Near God in body refinement. Near God in soul refinement. Flower sea queen. Mermaid king of the sea race. Jiang Changkong said lightly, I know all four of them. I'm quite familiar with them. He knew all of them. Quite familiar with them. The remnant beings of the universe were confused. Are you a species of a universe? I feel like you're the one who fell from the universe. We, the remnant beings of the universe, have never met an ancient near God. And you, an earthling, know all four of them? Mermaid king of the sea race. Our ancestor of the water vein was a close friend of the mermaid king back then. The Starpath late-stage water vein said excitedly. Jiang Changkong, close friend? If the mermaid king heard this, he would probably cut off all ties with your ancestor. You people of the water vein actually want to possess the body of your ancestor's close friend? Who gave you the courage? All right, let's not talk about these useless things. If you want me to open this box, I can. How many resources are you willing to pay? Jiang Changkong said lightly, Star crystals and star stones are fine. Star stones are not enough. The star demon's expression changed slightly. Star stones were dug out from the bodies of the star demon. Tell me the price. If you don't have enough resources, you can keep this box. Jiang Changkong glanced at the star demon and ignored him. Lord Jiang, do you think 100,000 level 9 mid-grade star crystals are enough? Feng Xing asked. Not enough. I could just kill a few star demon casually. Jiang Changkong shook his head. The star demon was enraged. Jiang Changkong, do you want to die? If this is not star stones, then it is killing the star demon. Are you looking down on me? Jiang Changkong looked at him disdainfully. Do you believe that I will kill you right now? How arrogant. Today, I will let you know the difference between the mid-stage and the late-stage star Dao. The star demon snorted coldly and jumped into the sky. Come up and die. Don't be angry. We can discuss this further. Feng Xing and Yin Jinhai hurriedly persuaded. Since they are interested, let them spar. The martial artists of the metal vein, water vein, and lightning vein said lightly. If Jiang Changkong was not strong enough, they would directly suppress him. If he was strong enough, it would not be too late to gather resources. Jiang Changkong flew into the sky. His powerful Dao power spread out and pressed down on the star demon. Boom! The star demon directly displayed his great Dao. His tyrannical Dao power crushed Jiang Changkong's Dao power. Brat, you have just reached the mid-stage star Dao. How dare you be so impudent in front of me? The star demon sneered. His sharp claws carried the power of the great Dao and slashed down. Jiang Changkong raised his right palm. The three great Daos intertwined. Taiji returns to one. The three great Daos were activated at the same time. Its power was no longer comparable to before. With the Taiji Great Dao, it did not reveal any power. Even the Dao power was restrained. It did not look powerful at all. The star demon's sharp claws descended. Majestic Dao power erupted. The next moment, his expression changed drastically. 70% of his power, including the power of the Great Dao, was mixed with Jiang Changkong's power and returned. Rumble. The terrifying power of the Great Dao swept out. The sharp claws exploded. Blood mist spread. The star demon roared in pain. Chapter 393. The Starpath late stage star demon exploded. Under Tai Chi return, the Starpath late stage seemed extremely weak. Jiang Changkong felt that he had overestimated the Starpath late stage. Without special means, he was just trash. Of course, this was also because his three great Daos were strong enough. If it was just a single power, he was far from being a match for the Starpath late stage. Looks like you're just trash at the Starpath late stage. Jiang Changkong snorted and his killing intent rose. And trash doesn't need to live. The three powers intertwined. Jiang Changkong opened the soul-killing formation again. Thousands of flowers bloomed. Yin and yang flowers covered the star demon's body. At the Starpath level, Jiang Changkong's soul-killing formation was filled with dense Dao aura. It was definitely a top-level killing formation. Boom! Flowers bloomed one after another. The star demon roared, and the great Dao power in his body exploded to resist the three great Daos. Not good, go help. The water and lightning lineages attacked at the same time. Jiang Chankong's expression turned cold. I will destroy any lineage that dares to come. Arrogant, I will suppress you today. The star path cultivators of the two lineages weren't easily intimidated. With a furious roar, they charged at Jiang Chankong. The great Tao power intertwined and formed a formation to attack Jiang Chankong. The group of star path martial artists worked together. Two of them were in the star path late stage. The formation they formed was also a top star path killing formation. Stop! Jiang Chankong is a guest of the wind lineage. Feng Xing frowned. The great Tao of wind appeared between the two sides. Everyone, there is no need to fight. We just want Jiang Chankong to open the stone box. Feng Xing, we are allies. Capture Jiang Chankong directly. What box can't be opened? The water lineage martial artist said coldly. Jiang Chankong knows the Mermaid King. Are you really going to attack him? Feng Xing said angrily. You just said that the Mermaid King was your ancestor's best friend. In the end, you don't even give face to the Mermaid King? You think he knows him just because he says so? If they really knew each other, why wouldn't they have a token from the Sea Clan? Water Vein, Star Path sneered. Very well. Today, I will help the King of the Mermaids to kill you bunch of forgetful bastards. Jiang Chankong smiled coldly. The three great Tao intertwined, and the soul-killing array suddenly enlarged, containing the cultivators of the two veins at the same time. The yin-yang flower bloomed, and the great path of the soul intertwined. Jiang Chankong spread his hands. One was the great Tao of soul, and the other was the great Tao of power. Taiji became one, and the three great Taos combined. The Tai Chi diagram suppressed the void. The great Tao of strength suppressed the area. The great Tao of soul sealed the void. Feng Xing's face was filled with anxiety. However, on the other side was his ally, and he couldn't help Jiang Chankong deal with them. However, if things were allowed to continue like this, it would be difficult for things to turn out well. Rumble. The vast Taiji diagram absorbed the power of countless great Tao, becoming more and more terrifying. The water vein martial artist, the lightning vein martial artist, and the star demon, the three great late-stage star path martial artists, used their ultimate arts at the same time and attacked Jiang Chankong. The other star Daos followed closely behind, supported by the power of the formation. Explode! Jiang Chankong pressed down with his palm, and the vast Taiji diagram descended. After absorbing everyone's great Tao energy, it instantly erupted. At the same time, the soul-killing array also released yin-yang flowers, and the entire formation bloomed. Rumble! The great Tao energy clashed, and the void collapsed as Tao might swept out for 5,000 kilometers. The wind vein and fire vein martial artists quickly took action, resisting the shock waves and protecting the others. Blood of various colors splattered, shattering mountains and shattering the ground. The great Tao energy tore their bodies and surged through their souls. With one strike, they were all injured. Great Tao energy circled around their wounds, preventing them from healing. On the other hand, Jiang Chankong's great Tao of strength manifested. 9 force patterns released resplendent golden light, and the great Tao energy automatically scattered. Body-tempering cultivators were immune to the great Tao. Jiang Chankong's body quickly healed. Then, he charged forward and directly grabbed a star Tao martial artist. Then, he punched, and the star Tao martial artist exploded. The three great Tao obliterated all life. Jiang Chankong died. A furious roar rang out, and the lightning spear tore through the void, piercing towards Jiang Chankong. Jiang Chankong smiled coldly and pressed his left hand on the spear. Then he manifested the three great Tao and combined them. Crack! Cracks actually appeared on the late-stage star Tao lightning spear. With a loud rumble, the Taiji returned to one, and the three great Tao drowned out the thunder vein star Tao. Clang! A spear landed, and an early-stage star Tao martial artist showed a horrified expression. He could not break the defense. Jiang Chankong punched, and the early-stage star Tao martial artist exploded, his life force dissipating. The star demon, water vein, lightning vein, and metal vein martial artists surrounded Xiao Chun with all their might. However, Jiang Chankong's body-tempering strength was simply too terrifying. He completely ignored the early-stage star Dao martial artist attacks. As for their formations and Jiang Chankong's soul-killing array, they shattered at the same time. The Taiji protection and universal shift. The attacks of the Thunder Vein martial artists landed on the Water Vein martial artists. Every time Jiang Chankong punched, a mid-stage or early-stage star Dao martial artist would die. Blood of various colors splattered. Powerful Dao runes were collapsing, and the power of the great Dao was forcefully shattered. As the fight continued, Jiang Chankong became more and more relaxed. These three late-stage star Dao martial artists were still far from their limits. He estimated that these three people carried about 60% of the great Dao at most. Although each of Jiang Chankong's great Dao only carried 20%, when combined with the Taiji returning to 1, the power that erupted was not as simple as adding them together. With a loud rumble, Jiang Chankong's punch penetrated the body of the Thunder Vein martial artist, and lightning blood splattered. Roar! Jiang Chankong opened his mouth and let out an inexplicable roar. For a moment, all the martial artists present were dazed, especially the Thunder Vein martial artist. He was stunned after being injured. Soul-killing sound, a secret art that was close to a deity's, mainly attacking the soul. Jiang Chankong took this opportunity to tear apart the defense with his palms, and 9 energy patterns roared together. Bang! The Thunder Vein martial artist exploded, and he was torn apart by Jiang Chankong. After reaching the Star Dao, Jiang Chankong's physique refinement strength erupted with terrifying power. Too terrifying, we can't hurt him at all. The early-stage Star Dao martial artists were in despair. Jiang Chankong could kill them in one move, and they could not break through his defense at all. What could they use to fight? Now, even a late-stage Star Dao martial artist was torn apart by Jiang Chankong. Endless fear surged in their hearts. This was a demon king, an undefeatable demon king. Roar! The soul-killing sound resounded again, and the exploded Thunder Vein martial artist was directly drowned by the 3 great Daos, and all his life was extinguished. A late-stage Star Dao martial artist had fallen. Run! Jiang Chankong is too terrifying. The Star Dao martial artist panicked, including the late-stage Star Dao Star Demon. The 3 lineages are finished. Below, Feng Xing's face was pale. The 3 lineages were really finished. 3 late-stage Star Dao martial artists led a group of early-stage Star Dao martial artists to besiege Jiang Chankong, but they were killed instead. And Jiang Chankong had said before that he would destroy any lineage that dared to make a move. Jiang Chankong had slaughtered his way to the depths of the Void Realm, and he was even more terrifying than the Netherworld Abyssal Dragon, destroying wherever he went. Sigh. Yin Jinhai and the Earth Vein martial artist sighed with a trace of helplessness. These 3 lineages have forgotten our true purpose. They have already forgotten their homeland and only think about power. A trace of sorrow flashed across Feng Xing's face. If the so-called ultimate combat body could be controlled and cultivated so easily, Starry Sky would have done it long ago. There is still a chance to balance the 3 forces. The Immortal Palace has already made some progress, but merging them is just an extravagant hope. The 3 lineages discussed below, while the battle above continued. As the late-stage Star Dao martial artist of the Thunder Vein died, a group of dancers wanted to escape, but endless white clouds appeared between heaven and earth, interweaving with the great Dao of the soul. In the white clouds, the expressions of all-star Dao martial artists changed drastically. Their great Dao power was suppressed. Chapter 394. Cloud Dao Sutra, All Things Bow. Once the white cloud Dao appeared, all-star Dao were suppressed. He forcefully tore apart Star Dao martial artists and cracked the Dao. The strength Dao displayed a terrifying might that tore apart heaven and earth, destroying everything. He was like a primordial beast with a powerful aura that could destroy heaven and earth. When the last star Dao was smashed into pieces, apart from Jiang Changkong, no one else was left standing. 13-star Dao martial artists were all dead. There were still 10 who were remnants of the wind, fire, and earth lineages who did not attack. Jiang Changkong collected the spoils of war and landed with the 13 corpses, sinking into the ground and giving them to the Abyss Dragon. The soul-stabilizing tree appeared and devoured the star Dao souls in front of the 3 lineages. The soul-stabilizing tree swayed and was almost 20 feet tall now. These star Dao souls were great nourishment. I already have a 90,000 star crystals you mentioned just now. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. Show some sincerity. The expressions of the 3 lineages were solemn, but no one dared to say anything. Jiang Changkong's strength was enough to destroy their 3 lineages. Our 3 lineages can only give you 1,000,000 grade 9-star crystals, including inferior grade ones. Feng Xing said with a solemn expression. There are no grade 10 ones. They were all brought to space. Grade 9-star crystals were rare to begin with. Taking out 1,000,000 at once was a huge prize for the 3 lineages. Metal, water, lightning. These 3 lineages don't need to exist anymore, Jiang Changkong said indifferently. The star Dao of these 3 lineages had fallen, but the martial artists below the star Dao were still around. After he returned this time, he would be participating in the expedition. Once he left, these remnants would probably continue to act arrogantly. Apart from him, there were no stars in his territory, and he could not stop them. The Federation might take care of his territory, but how could they guard against thieves for 1,000 days? They would just eliminate the roots. The expressions of the 3 lineages changed slightly, and he said in shock, Lord Jiang, are you really going to kill them all? Their main forces are in the starry sky. Since we have already formed enmity, I cannot hold back, Jiang Changkong said coldly. Or are you going to join forces with them and go against me? The 3 Meridian's martial artists were silent. They suspected that Jiang Changkong was deliberately provoking them. If they couldn't endure it any longer and made a move, Jiang Changkong would have an excuse to wipe them out as well. The forces of the starry sky could indeed intimidate them. However, behind Jiang Changkong was the Earth Federation. Earth's influence in the universe was even greater than theirs. Taking a deep breath, Feng Xing said, Lord Jiang, no matter what, you're acquainted with those few old gods. For their sake, please spare the juniors of the 3 bloodlines. Since the hard way didn't work, he could only resort to the soft way. Jiang Changkong sneered when he heard that. What the metal, water, and lightning veins have done can anger your ancestors back to life. After saying that, he pointed his finger and transmitted the scene of Shui Qin and Lin Xiun possessing the king of the mermaids to them. The 3 Meridians' martial practitioner checked the information in his mind, and his expression immediately turned cold. Soul stealing, and the best friend of the ancestor of the water veins. Not to mention Jiang Changkong. When that person regained control of the body and completely recovered, he would probably destroy the water veins personally. This group of bastards. Forget it, Lord Jiang. The metal, water, and lightning veins only have themselves to blame. We're willing to pay 1,000,000 grade 9-star crystals. Please open the stone box for us. Feng Xing sighed and did not plead for mercy. You guys go gather resources. I'll wait for you here and take care of the 3 bloodlines. Jiang Changkong said indifferently. After the 3 Meridians' martial practitioners left, Jiang Changkong brought Liangxiu Xuani and charged towards the metal, water, and lightning veins. The star Dao martial practitioners had already been wiped out, and those remaining were all below the star Dao. Are you really going to kill them all? Liangxiu Xuani asked calmly. Of course not. This is a force prepared for you. Jiang Changkong smiled faintly. I will use a secret art to change their memories and make them loyal to you in the future. How about it? Liangxiu Xuani's eyes flickered. Good. This will maximize the benefits. I will arrange for them to enter the Immortal Palace. The main forces of the Immortal Palace are in space. The remaining ones will not be of much use to me in the future. Jiang Changkong sighed. These are Earth's resources. You guys can use them yourselves. When he went to space, he would not return until he became a near god. When he became a near god, only some star sage level treasures would be useful to him. But there were very, very few star sages here. Are you making funeral arrangements? Lianqiu Xuanyi asked. You can say that. I will not return until I become a near god, unless something big happens. Jiang Changkong said, I'll leave Earth's matters to you in the future. Yes, I will use these people to control the immortal palace and protect your territory, Lianqiu Xuanyi said. Jiang Changkong did not say anything else. He had arrived at the metal veins territory. His soul power swept out. He used a secret art to erase their memories of the remnant people of space and create a new set of memories. The native Earthlings obeyed Lianqiu Xuanyi. As for Jiang Changkong, he was their strongest leader. For this group of people who had not even reached the star path, it was very easy to change them. These people offered their fortuitous encounters, astral crystals, and all sorts of information. Jiang Changkong only wanted star crystals. There were also many star stones, but Jiang Changkong did not take them out. Among the information, there was information about warships, top-tier warships. Together with all kinds of materials, it was very likely that Jiang Changkong would have his own warship. When that time came, he would need a lot of star stones to burn. After putting away the things, Jiang Changkong went to the thunder vein and then the water vein. Jiang Changkong frowned as he searched through his memories. Is Yinan here? Yinan is here? Lianqiu Xuanyi was also a little surprised. She only knew that Yinan's disappearance might be related to the immortal palace and these remnant people. She did not expect Yinan to be in the water vein. Jiang Changkong raised his palm. The ground split open, and a river appeared underground. Yinan sat cross-legged in the river. An early-stage star path cultivator. 3 chains pierced through his body and restrained him in the underground river. Yinan, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes and looked at the two coldly. I already told you about the sea race ruins. What else do you want? You told the water vein about the sea race ruins? Jiang Changkong was slightly surprised. He did not find this information in Lin Suyun's memories. With a flick of his finger, an invisible force landed, and the 3 chains broke inch by inch. The great Tao of water in Yinan's body trembled, and he rushed out of the underground river and came to the surface. Looking at the people of the water vein around him, Yinan's expression was solemn. What exactly are you planning? Yiqiu Shui asked me to find you. Now, the water vein is mine. Jiang Changkong said calmly. Why were you imprisoned by them? Yinan frowned and did not reply. Jiang Changkong shot out a stream of light and transmitted some memories. Then he took out the cultivation manual that Yiqiu Shui had given him. So many years have passed. Yinan was in a daze as he digested the memories. After a while, he completely calmed down and understood the current situation. Back then, I obtained news about the sea race ruins and came here to find them. I fell into the immortal palace's trap. At that time, I was saved by a star path cultivator of the water vein. He was very powerful and helped me to step into the star path. I was very grateful and let down my guard. In the end, what he had was a map of the sea race ruins. It was not a keepsake. He was tricked by the water vein and captured. With Yinan's map, the water vein found the sea race ruins and moved everything inside. Chapter 395. Moreover, the water vein wanted Yinan to be loyal to them and work for them in the expedition. Yinan did not agree and was locked in the underground river to be used as cannon fodder during the expedition. After listening to Yinan's story, Jiang Changkong said, "Come back with me when I'm done. Thank you for saving me. I'll do anything for you in the future, Lord Jiang." Yinan bowed and said gratefully. Jiang Changkong waved his hand. "You're welcome. My territory and the Yi clan are allies now. It's the Yi clan's fortune to have you as an ally." Yinan already knew that Jiang Changkong had destroyed the 3 star path sects. That level of strength was enough to reign supreme in the Void Realm. After packing up, Jiang Changkong returned to Star City with the 2 of them. Jiang Changkong had already ordered the 3 star path sects to head to his territory first. With that, the manpower for Jiang Changkong's territory was finally gathered. There were also a lot of high-level martial artists who were stronger than those major forces. The Dark Dragon was still in seclusion. Liang Xiaoshuani explained the current situation to Yi, and while Jiang Changkong occasionally interjected. 3 days later, the wind, fire, and earth martial artists arrived. They brought the million-star crystals and took out the stone box again. Jiang Changyue appeared out of thin air and stood beside Jiang Changkong. Lord Jiang, Jiang Changyue, please. The 3-star path sects bowed solemnly. Jiang Changkong held the stone box. It was sealed and had a strong Dao rune on it. Why do you insist on opening it? Jiang Changkong was not in a hurry to open it and asked. The deity had already told him that there was a key inside. The metal, water, and thunder lineages that he had searched did not contain any information about the stone box. To return to our homeland, Feng Xing said in a deep voice, be it us or Earth, the expedition to the cosmos is only near Earth. An enormous door of the great Tao has sealed us in. Only by opening that door can we go deeper into the cosmos. The 3 Meridians martial artists did not hide it, nor could they hide it. Jiang Changkong could search their souls and learn the secret of this stone box. This stone box was found by the Star Remnant natives at the door and could only be opened with the power of 3 lights. Great Yin and Great Yang power marks gathered, opening the stone box and opening the starry sky gate. Every 20 years, one of the 6 branches of the universe would be chosen to guard the stone box and wait for the person with the 3-star powers to appear. Only Xing Dao, who guarded the stone box, knew these secrets. When the protector was replaced, the previous protector would head to the starry sky. This time, it was the Wind Veins' turn to guard. They only wanted to open the stone case and return to their homeland through the starry gate. Now, almost all the resources near Earth have been exploited. They wanted to return to their homeland, while Earth wanted to dig for resources in the depths of the starry sky. It was a win-win situation. The only downside was that he didn't know if there would be any danger after opening the Stargate. All right, Changyue, come. The power of the sun and the great path of power emerged around Jiang Changkong's body, and he coordinated them with the Tai Chi True Scripture. Under the coordination of the Taiji True Scripture, the Taiji True Scripture and the Taiji True Scripture coexisted peacefully. Buzz! The power of the 3 lights merged into the stone box, which absorbed the power and emitted 5-colored starlight. Crack! A crisp sound was heard, and it slowly opened. A wisp of golden light dissipated, and a golden key lay quietly inside. Thank you, Lord Jiang. Feng Xing quickly took out the key and said gratefully, all right, the deal is done. We'll go our separate ways in the future. Jiang Changkong returned the stone box to him. The martial artists left with the key and the stone box. They wanted to contact the starry sky and send the stone box up. Why don't you keep that thing? That way, you'll have the initiative. After the 3 sects left, Yinan asked in confusion. Liang Xiaoshuani was also puzzled. Even if Jiang Changkong couldn't protect it, he could give it to the Federation in exchange for benefits. Jiang Changkong shook his head. I can't take it. It's dangerous to open the Stargate. The god had warned him that the danger was definitely not something the Xing Dao could withstand. As for giving it to the Federation, he had also thought about it. But what if the danger was too terrifying? It will take time for them to send the key. When we go back, we could just tell the Federation. Jiang Changkong said again. As long as they informed the Federation, they would pay attention to the situation. If there were only benefits, then they would rob it. The 2 did not speak anymore and sat down at the side. Jiang Changyue hid in the void again. A few days later, the underworld dragon finally came out of seclusion. His aura was terrifying, and he had reached the mid-stage of the Star Dao. This time, it was Jiang Changkong's turn to enter seclusion. He had gained a lot this time. Inferior grade 9-star crystals, 1 million. 1,100 middle grade star crystals, 680,000. 1360 superior grade star crystals, 320,000. 960 top tier star crystals, 110,000. 440 essence, energy, and spirit, 38. 6 million. These were all the gains this time, including the ones before, he had close to 9 million essence, energy, and spirit. Golden light sprinkled down, and the condensation of the great Tao sped up. Jiang Chankong first raised the other two martial arts to the mid-stage. The two martial arts increased, carrying 20% of the great Tao, and his strength increased again. Jiang Chankong. Mid-stage star, Tao top-tier, low-grade martial art. Indestructible golden body. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Tai Chi Sutra. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Sun Sutra. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Moon Sutra. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Death Heavenly Blade. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Sky Imperial Scripture. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million Cloud Tao. Initial success, 1/3. 5 million top-tier low-grade array Tao. Battle Body Star Formation. Incomplete initial success, 1/3. 5 million essence, energy, and spirit. 466252288. It was enough for him to reach the late stage of the Star Tao. Only then would he be truly invincible in the Star Tao. Jiang Chankong improved again, and with the help of treasures and the star formation, he could see the great Tao. The number of Tao patterns on the 7 stars increased from 20% to 30%. In the end, it exceeded 40% and reached 50%. Beyond 40% was the late stage of the Star Tao, and 70% was the limit. When it reached 50%, the Tao patterns were full. Half of the 7 stars were filled with Tao patterns. 50% of the great Tao. With the 8 martial arts combined, he could kill whoever he wanted on Earth now. Jiang Chankong also peaked at the great Tao of heaven and earth again. This time, he found something different. The great Tao that he had cultivated was different from the one he had peaked at. After all, after his upgrade, it was the most suitable for him. Feeling the intertwining power of the great Tao in his body, Jiang Chankong stabilized his cultivation and looked at his data again. Jiang Chankong, late stage of the Star Tao top-tier low-grade martial arts. Indestructible golden body, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Tai Chi Sutra, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Sun Sutra, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Moon True Scripture, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Death Heavenly Blade, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Sky Imperial Scripture, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million Cloud Tao, Desheng, 1/24. 5 million top-tier array Tao, battle body star formation, incomplete Desheng, 1/24. 5 million essence, vitality, and spirit. 1862528. The ground split open, and Jiang Chankong returned to the ground with the treasures. Little Brother Kong, the Abyss Dragon, was the first to greet them. He put away the treasure and did not let the two of them see it. You've improved again. Lianqiu Xuani was already numb to this. He was a freak. He had said that achieving the Star Tao within 100 years was already unprecedented. What about now? He probably wouldn't be able to do it in the future. Of course, it was also possible for a young man to become a top-tier martial artist in the ancient times when mortals and deities coexisted. However, in this era, if there were any reincarnated deities, they would probably be eating dust after Jiang Chankong. Shall we go back now? Yinan could not wait any longer. He couldn't wait to go back to the Yi family and see his family. Yinan, Xuani, you guys go back first. Brother Dragon and I will destroy the headquarters of the Divine Palace Research Palace and the other strongholds. Jiang Chankong said calmly. The remnants of the universe had run out of resources on Earth, so they could only go to the Divine Palace. Chapter 396. Jiang Chankong had left his sole power on Lianqiu Xuani and Yinan. It wasn't that he suspected them of being disloyal. He just wanted to find them. If there was any danger, he would be able to find them. After saying goodbye to the two, Jiang Chankong brought the underworld dragon to the headquarters of the Research Palace. The Research Palace was hidden deep in the mountains, with a late-stage star path overseeing it. Jiang Chankong could kill late-stage star path cultivators before, so the late-stage star path cultivators here were nothing. Before reaching the peak of late stage, Jiang Changkong crushed them to death. The soul belonged to him, and the corpse to the underworld dragon. Star crystals, all kinds of information, including information on star sages, were available. He could use them to reach the peak of star sage. As for near-god level cultivators, there wouldn't be a problem when he reached the near-god level. Near-god level cultivators were the top existences on Earth and in this universe. Unless the legendary immortal god appeared. He wasn't in a hurry to go into seclusion. He wanted to find the other strongholds. The 8th grade star crystals were useless, and the Immortal Palace stronghold didn't gain much. A month later, the Immortal Palace stronghold could no longer be seen in the depths of the void. Over the past month, Jiang Changkong didn't let go of any star demon he encountered, especially the star Dao-level star demon. He and the underworld dragon almost leveled the depths of the universe. The people of the wind, fire, and earth lineages were so scared that they hid in their homes and didn't dare to come out. Jiang Changkong and the underworld dragon went into seclusion. The underworld dragon went into seclusion first. He counted the star crystals, which were much less than plundering the remnant beings of the universe. However, there were some 10th grade star crystals. Early grade, 9th grade star crystals, 800,000 pieces. Middle grade star crystals, 400,000 pieces. High grade star crystals, 280,000 pieces. Top grade star crystals, 120,000 pieces. Low grade 10th grade star crystals, 2,500 pieces. These were all the gains. Essence, spirit, 29. 45 million in total. He needed less than 1 million more essence, spirit, and spirit to perfect 2 cultivation techniques. Jiang Changkong took advantage of the underworld dragon's seclusion to sweep through some star realm star demon. Half a month later, the underworld dragon came out and reached the peak of the mid-stage star Dao. Jiang Changkong only spent 2 days in seclusion to perfect 2 sets of martial arts. The indestructible golden body and the Taiji true scripture both carried 70% of the great Dao. Jiang Changkong, star path late stage, top grade lower grade martial art indestructible golden body, Desheng, 24. 5 million/24. 5 million Taiji Sutra, Dasheng, 24. 5 million/24. 5 million Sun Sutra, Desheng 1/24. 5 million Lunar Scripture, Desheng 1/24. 5 million Death Heaven Blade, Desheng 1/24. 5 million Imperial Heaven Scripture, Desheng 1/24. 5 million Taoist Scripture in the Clouds, Desheng 1/24. 5 million top-ranked low-grade array Dao, battle form star formation, incomplete Desheng 1/24. 5 million essence, energy, and spirit. 65288 After coming out of seclusion, Jiang Changkong brought the Abyss Dragon back to his territory. Brother Kong, are we really not going to flatten the Void Realm? The Abyss Dragon could not forget this dream of his. The Void Realm is related to Earth's development. Let's go to the stars next. Jiang Changkong thought about it and felt that he should attract him. Don't you want to go back to your hometown and take a look at the Death Star? Who knows where it is? It's hard to say whether it still exists or not. The Abyss Dragon was not very interested in the so-called hometown. It was born in the Void Realm and wanted to turn the Void Realm into a kingdom of death. I think the homeland of the Yellow Springs may have an endless amount of death aura. There might even be corpse path star crystals, top-grade ones. Jiang Changkong tried to bluff. Of course, what he said was not without reason. There must have been some near-deity-level experts in the Yellow Springs lineage back then if they were still alive. You have a point. The Abyss Dragon thought about it and felt that it was possible. Then, let's go to the stars with Brother Kong. As they spoke, the two returned to the territory. The territory had a large population and was bustling with activity. The territory that Jiang Changkong had expanded was now a little crowded. Especially after Yi Nin came back, he moved the Yi family here. Yi Nin was now a Star Path warrior and was at the peak of the early stage. His return caused a commotion, and even the Federation was paying attention. Lianxiu Xuani did not show up. She only let some people from the three lineages join the territory and left. She still had to gather the other forces of the Immortal Palace and take control of the Immortal Palace as soon as possible. After Jiang Changkong returned, he handed all the information he had obtained to Professor Yin. Wang Ruiqing had left before and had returned. The matter of framing him had been investigated, and it was done by the Immortal Palace. Now that he had taken his revenge, he could do research in the Immortal Palace with peace of mind. Jiang Changkong scanned the area with his divine will and found 3 acquaintances. His 2 senior sisters and senior sister Oashi were strolling around the territory. Jiang Changkong came to the 3 with the shrunken abyss dragon. Little Changkong. Ji Xiling gave him a hug excitedly. My good brother, I haven't seen you for more than a year. I missed you so much. Now, the 3 senior sisters' strength had also improved greatly, and they were all Stargate martial artists. With their talents and the resources of the territory, it was not difficult for them to become high-level warriors. I missed you too. What did you come? Jiang Changkong said and introduced, This is the Abyss Dragon. I call him Brother Dragon. The Abyss Dragon grinned. Nice to meet you. I'm Brother Kong's best friend. If you have any enemies in the future, feel free to look for me. It's really a dragon. The 3 senior sisters sized it up curiously. They had only heard about it from Yi and him before, and now they had finally seen it with their own eyes. Right, Changkong. Hu Qinglan looked for you before. I wonder what it was about, Tang Ruashi said. Hu Qinglan. Jiang Changkong nodded. I'll contact her later. Let's go eat first. He invited Su Hongji and the other old friends to have a meal together. Although the Abyss Dragon liked corpses, it did not mind tasting human food. After relaxing for 2 days, Jiang Changkong contacted Hu Qinglan. However, Hu Qinglan's phone was turned off. Jiang Changkong gave the Abyss Dragon the token to open the ancient battlefield and told it to go into seclusion there. Soon, the 3 families came to congratulate him on reaching the Stargate realm and gave him many gifts. Apart from them, some people from other islands who he knew and did not know also came to give him gifts. After a few days, Jiang Changkong finally had some free time again. One day, Yinan came. Changkong, the expeditionary force is coming back. Yinan brought a piece of news. The Federation has contacted me. They can give us a quota and let us go. They also told the Federation about the Stargate. Expeditionary force, let's go together. Jiang Changkong's eyes were full of anticipation. Although he had brought back a lot of things, it was not easy to build a warship. It would take at least a year or 2 to build a warship. One more thing. What should we do with Sheng Jin? Yi, and then drink a cup of tea. You and Sheng Jin have a lot of grudges. Sheng Jin sent a letter to ask for peace. Jiang Changkong asked, Does Sheng Jin have any star sages or true gods? No, only a few star sages, and they are all at the early stage, Yinan replied. They have close ties with the Celestial Palace, which is why they can stand firm among the major forces. Then destroy them. You and the Abyss Dragon will take care of this. I won't do anything. Jiang Changkong was not interested. A group of early-stage star sages could be crushed by the Abyss Dragon, who was at the peak of the mid-stage. As for the rest of the Celestial Palace, since the Research Palace had been destroyed, it would be great if the other palaces dared to jump out. Yinan nodded. When he was about to say something, Jiang Changkong's phone rang. It was a message from Hu Qinglan. The Battle Palace has reappeared. Come quickly. Jiang Changkong suddenly stood up. I have something to do. Go to the ruins and find the Abyss Dragon. Chapter 397. The Battle Palace's physique was close to that of a god. When he first came to the Void Realm, Hu Qinglan had told him about the depths of the Void Realm. There were top-grade resources there. Jiang Changkong had wanted to go, but things were unpredictable. Liang Xiaoshuani had brought him to the Immortal Palace's stronghold, but Feng Qixing had interfered and sent him to look for treasures close to that of a god. Because he had to refine his essence, he had only returned now. Hu Qinglan could not find him, so she went to the depths of the Void Realm. He did not expect to meet the Battle Palace again on this trip. Hu Qinglan sent a message with an address. Jiang Changkong merged with the world and left the territory in an instant. Hu Qinglan was in a different direction from the depths that Jiang Changkong had gone to, but in the deep sea, In the deep sea, there was an ancient relic with a spatial crack that swallowed seawater. In a few minutes, Jiang Changkong had arrived above the sea. He scanned with his soul power, found the entrance, and stepped into the spatial crack. As soon as he stepped out of the spatial crack, a monstrous blood chi swept over. The power rune star formation enveloped the entire space. A blood-colored palace was located in the center, emitting a majestic aura. It was like a small world with weeds, trees, and some ancient buildings. However, the small world had been enveloped by the power rune star formation. Roar! The roar resounded, and the void could not withstand the aura. Jiang Changkong's heart sank as he felt the pressure again. This blood-colored palace had 6 floors. Feng Qixing had said that the most basic ability of immortal-level treasures was self-repair. As long as they found a damaged, immortal-level treasure, it would automatically repair itself. This battle palace was an immortal palace, and the god should have found the other 3 floors and pieced them together. There was no one around, so they should have all entered the battle palace. This time, Jiang Changkong did not use the triple light pearl. He directly manifested his cultivation and entered the blood-colored palace. He ran all the way up. The second floor had changed. There were no small rooms or corpses. It was empty. The third floor also did not have any god cultivation method. It was also empty. On the wall, there were still 2 names that he had carved with the moon sword. Hua Qinglan, didn't you say that you had been here before? It's already the 4th level, so why aren't there any divine arts? The 2nd level doesn't have the corpse of a demigod. Have you been here or not? Damn it, even a peak star path cultivator wouldn't be able to withstand the star formation here. Angry roars and resentful voices resounded. Damn it, Hua Qinglan. Don't think that you can trick us just because you're in the upper echelon of the Federation. When we get out of here, Galaxy Budokai, will not forgive you. Shut up, all of you. What I saw before was only on the 3rd floor. You saw my name, and Changkong's on the 3rd floor. Hua Qinglan's voice was filled with coldness. If you think it's dangerous, you can leave now. I didn't force you to come in. What was that roar just now? A young man asked. His body was emitting a dense Tao aura. That's the sound of the power pattern. I've said it before, there's an almost godlike person with an immortal body here. If we anger him, none of us will be able to leave. Hua Qinglan's expression became colder. She could only pray that Jiang Changkong would see the news in time. An almost godlike person with an immortal body? The group looked at each other. When they came in, they didn't ask. They only knew that Hua Qinglan had come in. From her point of view, if Hua Qinglan was fine, then there shouldn't be too much danger. Among them, Hua Qinglan was the weakest. The leaders were 3-star path martial artists. The other 7 had comprehended a bit of the star path. Other than them, there were also some star demon. They weren't weak either. 2 of them were star path martial artists. Thump thump. Heavy footsteps came from the 3rd level. Everyone and the star demon quieted down. Someone else is coming. A star demon turned his head. He used his great path power to protect himself, resisting the blood chi and star formation. It's you, star demon. The humans' hearts sank. This was the star demon's territory. The human territory was still far away. None of them spread the news. They came in directly. Jiang Changkong. As the footsteps got closer, Jiang Changkong finally stepped on the 4th level. Hua Qinglan was overjoyed and said excitedly. Jiang Changkong smiled. He ignored the stars here and walked over. Did you find anything? Not yet. Hua Qinglan shook her head. This place has changed completely. There was something she didn't say. It had become like Tying Immortal Palace. There was nothing in the first 4 levels. Jiang Changkong? He really is a human. The star demon's eyes were ferocious. The peerless genius of the human race. I wonder if the human race will feel heartache if he dies here. How dare you? Hua Qinglan and the 3 human star path martial artists stood in front of Jiang Changkong. Star path, star demon? Jiang Changkong looked at the star demon. His great path power was ordinary, early stage star path. You have good eyes. I'll eat it later. Since when is it the star demon's turn to take the treasure? Bang! Before he finished speaking, the star path star demon exploded. He turned into blood chi and fused with this place. He died? The group of humans and the star demon were stunned. He died just like that? Did that near god do it? Hui Qinglan woke up from her shock. To be able to kill a star path martial artist silently, and the way he died was obviously the great path of strength. She didn't think that Jiang Changkong had this ability. She thought that it was a near god who did it. Near god? What is going on? The three-star path martial artists were stunned. Just because the star demon wanted to kill Jiang Changkong, and near god killed the star demon? Was this Jiang Changkong's home? Bang bang, another few explosions sounded. The star demon all exploded, leaving only the spatial equipment. Jiang Changkong kept the equipment and looked at the 10 people. Which one of you is from Star River Bidokai? What do you want? A young man's face turned pale and his voice trembled. Kill you. Bang. As soon as he finished speaking, the young man exploded, turning into a blood mist that merged with the blood chi. Jiang Changkong, you... Boom. Majestic Tao might emanated from Jiang Changkong's body. Peak late star path, great path of strength. The 70% great path pressure made everyone's expression change. Roar. The force pattern roared again. Clearly, Jiang Changkong had attracted that person's attention. Peak late star path. The three-star path martial artists were shocked. Jiang Changkong had actually reached the peak late star path. The rest of you, retreat to the 3rd floor. You 3 stay, Jiang Changkong said indifferently. The 9 looked at each other. A star path martial artist frowned and said, all of you retreat. Listen to Lord Jiang. Jiang Changkong's ability could kill all of them. Changkong, your ability has improved too fast. Hui Qinglan was speechless. You're not slow either. Peak late star path, Jiang Changkong said with a smile. The 6 of them retreated. The 3-star path martial artists asked politely, Lord Jiang, what should we do now? Jiang Changkong said indifferently, seeing that you guys blocked in front of me just now, I'll bring you guys to get the treasure. However, you have to give me a share after this. No problem. What treasure is it? The 3 said readily. Near God technique. Near God technique? The 3 were shocked. They didn't expect it to be a near God technique. Remember, each person takes 1 item. If you take more, I will personally take your lives without that near God technique, Jiang Changkong said coldly. Lord Jiang, don't worry. What about the rest? The 3 looked at the entrance to the 4th floor. The 6 of them retreated. Each person took 1 item. With 6 people, they could get 6 more techniques. Depends on my mood. Jiang Changkong shook his head and brought the 4 up. The triple light divine pearl was already in his arms. Chapter 398. The 5th level was indeed a near-God cultivation technique. The 3-star path martial artists obediently took only 1 set. Can I still take it? Hui Qinglan asked. I'm not sure either. You forgo first. I'll go to the 6th level to take a look, Jiang Changkong said. Okay. The 4 nodded. One of them asked curiously, what's on the 6th level? Near God, if you want to take a look, I'll bring you up, Jiang Changkong said indifferently. Forget it. The 4 hurriedly shook their heads. They didn't want to see the near God with an immortal body. After letting them rest on the 3rd level, Jiang Changkong went to the 6th level alone. On the 6th level, there was a parasol tree with a golden crow and 2 phoenixes on it. Of course, they were all statues, dead objects. More than 100 near-God corpses sat here. The near-God sat next to the parasol tree. Sensing his arrival, he raised his head with calm eyes. Jiang Changkong said calmly, since you're alive, let's talk. You've improved a lot compared to a year ago. You're also a lot more courageous. The near-God slowly said. Courage grows with strength, Jiang Changkong said indifferently. Although he still couldn't see through the near-God strength, he knew that this near-God wouldn't attack. I lured you here to give you the immortal scripture, Star Path, Star Sage, and near-God technique. Lure me here? You have my mark. I can sense where you are. The near-God said indifferently. After this, we won't meet again for a long time. How long is a long time? The near-God continued. If there's no accident, after you become a near-God, you might meet someone like you when the Stargate opens. Like me? Jiang Changkong's heart skipped a beat. How so? someone who has 3 Daos and wants to cultivate the strongest combat body. The near god said indifferently, "Of course, you have more Daos." Jiang Changkong heaved a sigh of relief. "You almost scared me. I thought you were someone who could level up like me." In the primordial era, immortals and mortals coexisted, dividing the starry sky into 4 seas and 8 wilderness. Earth belongs to the East Sea region. Apart from you, there are also the 3 seas and 8 wastelands. Some regions are completely extinct, but some still exist. There was no fluctuation in his tone, and he was very calm from beginning to end. This time, the Stargate is to open the passage to other areas. Jiang Changkong listened quietly, not taking it to heart at all. So what if he had the supreme combat body and 3 great Daos coexisting? He could open 4 types of great Dao, but he hadn't met anyone worthy of opening them yet. Once he activated the 4 great Daos, even the ultimate combat body would be crushed by him. If he could figure out how to use a drop of Star Force and a star, he would be able to use 3 types of great Dao, even without using 4 types of great Dao. All right, you can go ahead and retrieve the fragment of the immortal scripture. After body refinement, nearing divinity finished speaking, he didn't explain any further. Wait a moment. I would like to know if the people who retrieve the items from the 3rd floor of the palace are able to do so again, Jiang Changkong asked. No. The Supreme Combat Body shook his head. I'm giving you a chance to take the incomplete Celestial Sutra. Then let's change this chance. I want a cultivation technique that's close to God level, Jiang Changkong said. You want to reject the incomplete Celestial Sutra? The Supreme Combat Body's expression changed. Why? Because I don't need it. Even without the Star Path scripture, I still managed to figure it out and enter the late stage of the Star Path. Jiang Changkong said proudly, Star Path, near God level, I'll figure out myself. I can level up myself. What's the use of it? I might as well exchange it for a cultivation technique that's close to God level and give it to the 3 senior sisters. The Supreme Combat Body's eyes shone with a golden light. He stared at Jiang Changkong as if he wanted to see through him. Okay, let's see if you can figure it out yourself. Jiang Changkong turned around and left, going straight to the 3rd floor. Jiang Changkong brought the 6 of them along. He let each of them choose a book, and he also chose one for himself. The attributes of 3 of them were decided by him. After taking them, Jiang Changkong searched their souls. 2 of them had done many bad things, so Jiang Changkong erased their memories. Thank you, Lord Jiang. The other 4 were grateful. At the same time, they looked at their unconscious companions with fear. It's fine. Let's go. Jiang Changkong brought them away. The group left the war palace. Hu Qinglan was a little unhappy. She didn't get anything. Jiang Changkong comforted her. There's nothing we can do about it. There are still 6 of them. They have the alliance as well. Hu Qinglan's mood turned for the better. Well, where have you been? I couldn't find you before. I went to the depths of the Void Realm and killed some people along the way. Jiang Changkong said casually and left with them. They merged with heaven and earth. When they appeared again, they were already in the territory. Hu Qinglan didn't stay long. She still had to go back and report. The others wanted to switch cultivation methods on the spot after obtaining them and quickly left. Jiang Changkong called the 3 senior sisters and taught them the cultivation methods. He deliberately chose the ones with suitable attributes. He now had 12 complete cultivation methods. He took 7 of the Thunder attribute ones. The 3-star path ones also gave him one, and there was one that was close to godlike. Jiang Changkong wrote them down and kept them as treasures of the territory. In the future, whoever contributed the most would be rewarded. After writing them down, Jiang Changkong went into seclusion. He was studying these cultivation methods. However, they didn't mention how to turn a drop of astral power into a star. The star path carried the great Tao. The star sage transcended the great Tao they carried and walked their own path. They used their own path to suppress all other paths. As for the near godlike, they made another breakthrough in their own path and comprehended the legendary path of immortals. Helpless, Jiang Changkong could only study their understanding of the great Tao. The mark of the great Tao was the condensation of one's own great Tao. The star array was just a means to exert the great Tao. Explain the great Tao and apply it. The star embryo can carry the star array. The star body can form a special constitution, and the star body can form its own star body. Jiang Changkong sorted out the information in his mind and looked for what he needed. After thinking for a while, he couldn't think of anything. In the end, he borrowed the Nether Dragon's treasure. This thing could speed up the comprehension of the great Tao. It might be of help to him. As time passed, Jiang Changkong calmed down. The Nether Dragon, Yinan, and the three families worked together to destroy Xingjin. Xingjin wanted to ask the Federation to intervene, but unexpectedly, the Federation helped the Nether Dragon to destroy Xingjin. In terms of property, Jiang Changkong and the four families divided it. Now, Jiang Changkong was also a top force in the Federation. After half a month of seclusion, Jiang Changkong kept comprehending the Great Tao and finally figured something out. Carry the Great Tao. Since he could carry the star array and form a star body, he could also carry the Great Tao and form a Tao body. People cultivated like stars, so he should cultivate more thoroughly and carve the Tao patterns into his body and flesh. Just like the real stars, the Great Tao was everywhere. If he could complete it, he would be able to cultivate a drop of star power into a star. However, Jiang Changkong didn't have time. The Interstellar Expeditionary Force was back. Beams of vast starlight flew from the starry sky into the void realm. Battleships after battleships, warriors after warriors, returned from the expedition. Jiang Changkong also walked out of the secret chamber. The Expeditionary Force had returned. The new batch of Expeditionary Force was going to the starry sky, and he had a quota. Chapter 399. Beams of starlight fell. They were all starships. Green, black, silver, all kinds of warships. These warships were engraved with a blue star and a divine dragon. It was the symbol of Earth. The warships opened, and warriors in armor walked out. The Void Realm could not withstand the tyrannical might of the Great Path. Star Path armor. Soon, these warriors adjusted their auras and put away their armor, revealing tired and weary faces. The martial artists behind them weren't wearing Star Path battle armor. They were all wearing Star Body battle armor. Welcome back. Hua Qinglan and many other Federation members walked over and saluted. Officer Hua. The warriors returned the salute and took off their armor. They were not as strong as Hua Qinglan. Another few warriors walked out. They were not wearing armor, but they also had the same might of the Great Path. Little Qinglan, a middle-aged man, smiled. It's good to see you. Uncle Lu, welcome back. Hua Qinglan stepped forward and gave him a hug. When the expeditionary army did not come down, Hua Qinglan could not smile anymore. Only 370 of the 1,500 people are left. We encountered a starry sky storm. Uncle Lu looked sad and sighed. It's a miracle that we can come back. It's good that you're back. An old man walked over with tears in his eyes. You've all worked hard. I've arranged a banquet to welcome you back. Thank you, officer. Uncle Lu saluted and said, have there been any changes in the Federation all these years? Of course there have been changes, but it's a good thing. Our Federation has produced a genius. Because of him, we've benefited greatly. The old man smiled. Genius? Is it Jiang Changkong? I've heard a lot about him in the universe. Uncle Lu smiled. It's him. You know him too? Hua Qinglan was a little surprised. I know him. I've heard so much about him. Uncle Lu left with them, and the rest of the warriors quickly followed. A warrior said, before we came back, we heard about the genius Jiang Changkong. We even heard his name on the way back. Yes, we all treat it as a story. On the way back, I heard a group of people say that Jiang Changkong almost destroyed the Star Demon. One by one, the martial artists explained. Hua Qinglan was a little surprised. Although she knew about Jiang Changkong, she was also shocked. But she didn't expect that Jiang Changkong's name had already spread to the starry sky. The news of the expeditionary army's return quickly spread throughout the Void Realm. Jiang Changkong looked at the information on the internet. It was almost time for the interstellar expedition to depart. 5 days later, unless there were too many experts who wanted to go on a starry space expedition, One wave of people would return, and the next wave would go. The number of casualties was not revealed. Jiang Changkong was informed to rush over within 5 days and set off on time. As for the interstellar expedition, if nothing unexpected happened, it would take 9 months. If there was an accident, he might lose his life in the starry sky within a year. The starry sky was fraught with dangers. Even the slightest bit of carelessness could cost one his life. Only star saints could ignore the dangers of the starry sky and travel unhindered through it. The Federation sent him information, informing him of some of the dangers in the starry sky. Jiang Changkong pulled the dark dragon and Yi Nen to look at it together. The starry sky storm was a starry sky storm formed by the gathering of all kinds of astral powers. There were strong and weak storms. The strong ones could tear apart the star path pinnacle, while the weak ones could kill star path martial artists. The cracks in the starry sky were incomparable to ordinary spatial cracks. Even a star path pinnacle could not withstand it. There were also the dead zones formed by the shattered stars. The dangers inside were also not something that the star path pinnacle could withstand. Why don't we just flatten the void realm and not go? The dark dragon was a little scared. It was afraid of the star path pinnacle that could easily kill someone. How can we not go? What's there to be afraid of? Jiang Changkong frowned and said, there are not many resources in the void realm. If we stay here, we will never be able to become star saints, let alone true gods. The Lord is right. We must go to the starry sky to obtain more resources. Yinan agreed. If you want to stay in the star path for the rest of your life, then stay. I'm just saying, we'll go wherever Brother Kong says. The dark dragon laid on the table and agreed. Following Jiang Changkong was a lot of star path corpses, so it became a little dependent on him. With its own strength, it would not be a problem to face a mid-stage star path pinnacle, but it might not be able to keep them. Not to mention the late-stage star path pinnacle. If it wanted benefits, it could only follow Jiang Changkong. You guys study first. I'm going back to Earth, Jiang Changkong said. Why are you going back to Earth? Is there anyone you can't let go of? Yinan asked. Jiang Changkong said, there's a spatial rift in Abyss City. The star demon is constantly rushing over, so I'm a little worried. If a high-level star demon rushed out one day, his Abyss City would be finished. I'll go with you, the dark dragon said. It only took a few minutes for the man and dragon to leave the void realm and return to Earth. The spatial rift was still there in the abyss. The spatial rift was no longer a threat to him. As long as he wanted to, he could flatten it with one hand. They entered the spatial rift without alerting anyone. The dark spatial rift led to an unknown place. One star demon after another kept rushing out into the abyss. Jiang Changkong led the dark dragon forward for half an hour, but there was still no end. These are all low-level and mid-level star demon. I don't see any high-level ones. The dark dragon muttered unhappily, regretting following them. Jiang Changkong looked into the depths. Where does this lead to? Where did these star demon come from? His soul power scanned the area. It was just a simple spatial rift. The two continued forward. There was still no end to the star demon in front of them. Let's go back. There's nothing good here, now there is. Before the netherworld dragon could finish its words, one of the Jiang Changkong raised its hand, and a palm-sized bone flew out. This bone. The dark dragon looked at the bone with a hint of confusion. There were some star runes carved on one side of the bone. On the other side, there were incomplete pictures and a few lines. Even the power of the yellow springs couldn't corrode it. East Sea region, calamity coming. Sea race's old land, immortal treasure. East Sea? Sea race's old land, mermaid king? The dark dragon said excitedly, this is really a treasure. Look for the bone. Quick! Jiang Changkong hurriedly called the dark dragon to look for the bone. The near-godly body cultivator had said that back then, the universe was divided into 4 seas and 8 wilderness. Earth was just a small place in the East Sea region. In the sea race's palace, the Mermaid King was only one of the 13 Sea Kings. There were still a bunch of Sea Kings in the East Sea region. There was also the mention of a mortal treasure. It was very likely that it was the golden substance he wanted. The human and dragon hurriedly searched the spatial rift and quickly found a few more pieces. The number of bone fragments increased, and the information on it became more comprehensive. What shocked Jiang Changkong and the Dark Dragon even more was that this was a map left behind by a Sea King. It also introduced the old land of the Sea Race, which was the territory of this Sea King. More than 10 planets were all the territories of a Sea King. This Sea King, the 8th Sea King, was a flood dragon, a true flood dragon.